this profiles very similarly to Game 1 when it was Clayton Kershaw against Jacob deGrom, and they both pitched as though they were in sudden death, where the first team to score might well win the game. And you have to feel very similarly about this one. And so that also brings into question how soon will either manager go to his bullpen, because if either one of these guys gives up a couple early, well, you just don't have the luxury of waiting around to find out if that pitcher is going to find his arm slot or calm himself down or recover whatever it is that went awry. So we may see some surprising names come out of the bullpen, particularly on the Mets side, a little bit earlier in this game, depending upon how both deGrom for the Mets and Greinke for the Dodgers fare. But Curtis Granderson stepping in to lead off for the Mets. The Mets are wearing their traditional road grays, trimmed with blue. The Dodgers in their traditional home whites. They, too, are trimmed in blue. Zach Greinke sets up on the first base side of the throwing rubber. Tugs once at the bill of his cap, ready to go to work into the windup. The first pitch of the night, a fastball down the middle for a call, strike one. Granderson is 6 out of 14 in the series. He's driven in 5 runs, tied for the series lead with the Dodgers' Adrian Gonzalez. The infield is overshifted, 3 on the right side of the diamond, and Greinke's 0-1 pitch. Swinging a foul in and out of the glove of the catcher Grandal, and quickly it's 0-2. And quickly very much a part of the profile for Zach Greinke. He works that way, does not walk many, generally around the plate, but not the middle of the plate. He tends to work the corners and does it with precision. Outfield straight away. 0-2 to Granderson. Greinke delivers, and a fastball just missed outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Greinke in Game 2 of the series went 7, gave up 5 hits and 2 runs. Somewhat typically did not walk a batter. Did give up a couple of home runs. 1 to Cespedes, the other to Conforto. 1-2 to Granderson. Swinging a chopper, slowly hit right side past the diving Greinke. Rolls out towards second, throw to first by Turner is in time to get Granderson. Beautiful play by Justin Turner, the third baseman who is to the right of second base, charging that slow hit ground ball. Granderson is not yet convinced that he's out. He's looking into the dugout. Terry Collins looking behind him to see if this is worth challenging. And on the first play of the game, Terry Collins informs the umpires they want to get another look at this.
Isn't that something? Replay right away. Chad Fairchild is the guy that had to make the bang-bang call. And Greinke diving after that. I'm sure Dodger fans holding their breath as he went prone on the ground to try to get it. Turner, kind of a flick of the wrist. It's real close. Granderson might have beaten that out. They're going to slow it down frame by frame, I'm sure.
I think he did. I think he's going to be safe.
Gonzalez didn't really stretch that far, Howie. He only came off the bag by maybe about a foot and a half from right foot to left foot.
See, the thing about this is it's another one of those so close decisions that come down to whether or not that ball actually nestled into the glove of Gonzalez. Not, we're splitting hairs here, necessarily even breaking the plane of the glove, but making contact and settling into the mitt. It was a tremendous play by Turner, who two-handed the ball, didn't try to just barehand it. And everybody's kind of looking at the replays now as they're being shown on the vision board, and he is safe at first. It is an infield hit for Curtis Granderson. Well, that didn't take long.
No.
1 play, 1 review.
Put it in play against Greinke. That's the biggest thing tonight. Granderson did hustle down the line, and that kind of submarine improvised throw from Turner, apparently barely too late.
So now here's David Wright. This series has been a struggle for David, save for 1 big hit, a 2-run single in the opener against Pedro Baez. David just 1 for 12 with those 2 runs batted in. 3 out of 12 lifetime against Greinke. And Greinke now with his first pitch to Wright. Swing and a miss, challenged him right away with a fastball at 93 of the count, 0-1. Greinke does have an effective 2-seam ground ball, and that will induce double plays. So the Dodgers with Kendrick, the second baseman, shaded towards the bag. A quick throw to first, and Granderson dives back in. And one thing David Wright does more than you'd like, ideally, is hit into those ground ball double plays, and that's what Greinke would love to get here. Turner behind the bag at third, not far off the line. The 0-1 pitch. taken on the outside corner at 93. A called strike. It's 0-2. Mets fans, whether you're on the way to the ballpark or just driving around listening to the game, we want you to be with us for all the excitement. So don't text, don't call, just drive. A reminder from the New Jersey Motor Vehicle Commission. Put your phone to bed and visit justdrive.com. 0-2 to right. Another throw to first. Granderson with a semi-dive back in. Didn't have to go all full flat, but then again, he didn't have that big a lead to begin with.
Greinke's got a good move to first, and we mentioned Grandal's got a sore shoulder, the catcher, but it's his non-throwing shoulder. He's actually pretty good back there.
0-2 to right. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed, strike 3. So Greinke comes back with what looked like a hard slider to strike out David Wright. One away. Granderson at first, and Daniel Murphy coming up. The umpires lineup, sponsored by Lincoln Technical Institute, always offering the best lineup of career choices. Get started today at lincolnedu.com. The crew chief, Gary Cedarstrom, has the plate. Chad Fairchild at first, Alan Porter at second, Jim Wolf at third. Throw to first, Granderson back standing. Greg Gibson is on the left field line, and Chris Guccione is on the right field line. Daniel Murphy, hoping at a bare minimum that this is not his last game as a Met. Eligible for free agency. First pitch, fastball outside, ball 1. Murphy has hit in all 4 games of this series, including a couple of home runs, both off of Clayton Kershaw, only the 6th left-handed batter to have multiple home runs in his career against Kershaw. 1-0 the count. Greinke holds the set, now the pitch. And that's taken a little bit low, evidently a fastball. It's 2-0. Adam Dunn, Carlos Gonzalez, Joey Votto, Brad Hopp, remember him, former Rocky, and Jay Bruce, the only lefties, regular season or postseason, with more than 1 home run against Kershaw. Greinke, no mere bag of shells either. Here's the 2-0. Murph swings, lines it to left center, moving back. Peterson still going, can't get it. It one hops the wall. Granderson on his way to third. Hernandez stumbles on the warning track, picking the ball up. Granderson will score. Murphy digging for third. He dives in safely without a relay throw. The Mets have a 1-0 lead. Daniel Murphy drives in a run, and he's 90 feet away with another with 1 man out here in the first inning. That ball took a high hop off the wall beyond the reach of Peterson, and then when Hernandez, the left fielder, went after it, he stumbled. And by the time he picked it up, Howie Kendrick had no chance to make a relay throw. Murphy is at third, and the Mets lead 1-0.
Taking advantage of some things here, that overturned call at first, a little heads up from that video replay department, and then, Kike Hernandez and Peterson struggling to get it back in. That puts Murphy at third, and you got to get him in now. You got a chance to go up 2-0 in the first on Greinke.
And the Dodgers, fully realizing that, move the infield in. Not sure yet if they've ruled that a double or a double and an error, but either way, here is Cespedes. Right-hand batter, first pitch. Swing and a miss and a sinking fastball. It's 0-1. I don't see an error up on the board, so we'll just assume that it's a triple for Daniel Murphy. 0-1 to Cespedes. Infield is now dropped back about halfway. Here's the 0-1. Swung on and missed. Challenged him with another fastball. Beats him with 95. And the count is 0-2 to Granderson. To Cespedes, who's hitting .313 in the series with 2 homers and 4 runs batted in. He has a homer and 8 career at-bats against Greinke. That was in Game 2. Murphy claps his hands, measures a short lead down the line from third. The 0-2, swung on and missed, strike 3. A king-sized out for Zach Greinke to strike out Cespedes, who's unable to find a way to get that run home. And now the inning, at least to extend the 1-0 lead, is up to Lucas Duda, and he has had a real rough go of it. Duda 2 for 15, 9 strikeouts in the series, 3 for 15, including a homer against Greinke. But now as a left-hand batter, Greinke will vary his arsenal. You don't get as many fastballs left-handed against Greinke as the right-hand hitters do. First pitch to Duda, fastball, but it's pulled foul down the first baseline. He challenged him in at 95, and the count 0-1. Greinke will only throw about 35%, maybe a little more, of his pitches as fastballs to left-hand batters. And when he gets ahead of you, as he just did to Duda, now that strike zone really widens for Greinke. 3 infielders on the right side. The outfield deep. Here's the 0-1 to Duda. High inside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Another fastball at 94 with Travis d'Arnaud waiting on deck. So it's Riverside Duda from nearby against Zach Greinke. The 1-1. Outside. 2 balls and 1 strike. Went to a sinker there.
Well, the 4-seamer early, Howie, has been at 94 and 95 for Greinke, and that's a hot fastball for him. That's what he was throwing about 4 years ago, not this year.
Kendrick, the second baseman, out into short right field. Here's the 2-1 to Duda. In the dirt, ball 3. So 3-1, missing with a 92-mile-an-hour fastball. Mets in winner-take-all games in their history, their postseason history, of course, are 2-3. One thing they've done in this series, hit the ball out of the park. They've hit 6 home runs in the first 4 games, and that's a record for them in division series. Murphy, who tripled in a run with 1 out, still at third with 2. And here's the 3-1 to Duda. Swung on and missed a changeup. Oh, boy. Greinke pulled the string at 91. And the count full now on Duda, who saw a fastball and was out in front. And now many in this crowd come to their feet, waving the white giveaway towels. Mets have a run in. Boy, they'd love this second one with Murphy moving a little further down the line at third now, with Turner, the third baseman, to the right side of second base, and Seager, the shortstop, over towards third but off the line. Here's the payoff pitch. Swung on and missed, strike 3. Got him with another changeup, down and away. Greinke strikes out 3 in the inning, but the Mets score a run on 2 hits. No errors, 1 left. Middle of the first. It's the Mets 1, the Dodgers coming up on the WOR Mets Radio Network, driven by your Tri-Honda dealers. Howie Kendrick, the right-hand hitting second baseman, leads off. He's had a good series. In fact, he's hit in 8 straight games overall. And DeGrom into the windup. The first pitch on the way. A fastball over for a called strike. 0-1. So Kendrick, who in the series batting .353 with 6 hits and 17 at-bats, ready for the 0-1. And he takes it low. 1 ball and 1 strike. Corey Seager is on deck. And then Adrian Gonzalez. Mets outfield is straight away. The infield set back and straight up. The 1-1 line to first. Caught by Duda almost in self-defense. Just to the left side of his left cheek. A screamer by Kendrick, but 1 loud out. And that'll bring up Corey Seager. Let's look at the Mets defensive alignment. Delivered to you by Seamless. Seamless, how New York eats. Duda at first. Murphy at second. Flores at short. Right at third. Conforto, Cespedes, Granderson left to right in the outfield. And d'Arnaud catching DeGrom. Seager, a left-hand batter. First pitch swung on and missed. 0-1. There's the changeup from Jacob DeGrom. Seager 0 for 3 in Game 4. Just 2 for 12 in the series. And DeGrom back with the 0-1. Fastball a little bit high. 95 on the fastball from DeGrom. And the count 1 ball and 1 strike. Seager's also played a bit of third base. The 1-1 fastball hit late and foul off to the left and out of play. 96 on that fastball from DeGrom, and the count 1-2. The Dodgers have never lost a winner-take-all postseason game since moving to Los Angeles in 1958. 1-2 pitch, fastball line to left. That's a base hit. Headed down the line, backhanded along the line by Conforto. Nice play by Michael Conforto, and that will hold Seager to a well-struck opposite field single. So the Dodgers, who are 4-0 in these winner-take-alls here in L.A., have a 1-out base runner for Adrian Gonzalez. Visit your Tri-Honda dealers and check out the Honda Accord with available blind spot detecting lane watch. The only thing you won't see coming is the great price. Check it out at TriHondaDealers.com. Well, now Gonzalez, who has driven in a run in all 4 games. 313 in the series with a homer and 5 runs batted in. DeGrom to the belt. First pitch. High and tight. Ball 1. 1-0 to Gonzalez. Justin Turner, the on-deck hitter. Gonzalez has a couple of home runs in his career against DeGrom. 3 for 11 overall against him. Infield back at double play depth. Seager leads from first. Here's the 1-0. Gonzalez fouls it back to the screen. He had a huge cut at a 96-mile-an-hour fastball. And the count, a ball and a strike.
Gonzalez, a 3-time strikeout victim against DeGrom in game 1. DeGrom actually held Dodger lefties, Howie, to 1 out of 17 in that opener. The only hit in opposite field won by Seager, and he just did it again moments ago.
1-1 the count. Right off the line at third. DeGrom sets at the waist. Now the pitch. Gonzalez takes it outside. A fastball. 2 balls and 1 strike. Well, the strikeout, Gonzalez had 3 of them in each of the first 2 games. Been a real central theme of this series. Remember, Greinke struck out 3 in the top of this inning. This series has tied a postseason series record for most strikeouts in 4 games. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Fastball just missed outside. Ball 3. There were 89 strikeouts combined over the first 4 games. Same as the Braves and Giants had 5 years ago in a division series. But now DeGrom, remember that first ball hit against him by Howie Kendrick, a line out to first. That ball was scorched. Seager hit it hard. Now it's 3-1 to Gonzalez. DeGrom ready. Here's the pitch. Swing and a liner to right field. That's a base hit. Chased towards the line by Granderson. He's up with it. Seager on his way to third will be held there. The throw comes into Murphy, and Gonzalez is on at first with a clean single to right. And now the Dodgers have runners at first and third. 1 man out. And Justin Turner, the former Met, the Dodgers cleanup hitter, will be coming up. And Turner has been bothered recently by a sore knee, although you certainly wouldn't know it by the way he's hit the Mets around in this series. He's batting .467 with 7 hits in 15 times to the plate. 4 of those hits have been doubles. And you wonder about that run the Mets did not get home after Murphy tripled in Granderson to give New York a 1-0 lead. They're still up 1-0. But now the Dodgers really hitting DeGrom hard through all 3 batters here. Have runners at the corners. And this crowd on its feet. Middle infield back at double play depth. DeGrom ready. Here's the first pitch to Turner. It's low. Ball 1, a fastball.
Well, Turner's a fastball hitter still. High fastballs in particular. The fastball doesn't seem to have quite the life yet tonight, Howie, that it did in game 1 for DeGrom, but it's early.
That last one at 97. He's had 5 days rest. DeGrom ready. Here's the 1-0. Swung on and missed. A hard slider away. And the count, 1 ball and 1 strike.
Slider's a great idea. Again, you get Turner to hit the ball on the ground. He's not running well because of the knee. Turn 2, get out of here up 1-0.
Corey Seager leading from third. Adrian Gonzalez being held on at first by Lucas Duda. Outfield straight away against the right-hand batter. DeGrom's 1-1 to Turner. Swinging a bouncer towards third, foul. Hugging the line, well beyond the reach of David Wright, but a foul ball. 97-mile-an-hour fastball, and DeGrom ahead of the count. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Andre Ethier, a left-hand batter, is on deck. So as the crowd builds back to the crescendo, DeGrom stares in at Darno. 1 and 2 to Turner. DeGrom sets. Here's the pitch. Swinging a liner to right. That's a base hit. Headed down the line. Granderson up with it. Seager scores. Gonzalez digs for third. The throw comes into second. On at first with an RBI single is Justin Turner. The Dodgers have come right back to tie the game 1-1. And DeGrom does not have the put-away pitch yet. At least not through the first 4 batters here in the first inning. That ball was not scorched the way the first three were, but DeGrom has not been nearly the mystery here in the first inning that he was in game one.
Well, remember, DeGrom had come in this year against the Dodgers, having not allowed a run in 15 innings. And now he's allowed a run on back-to-back-to-back singles. That last pitch, Howie, was down. That's where you want it. But Turner just kind of poked it, kind of flicked it on into right field.
Well, now it's Andre Ethier, a guy who eats up left-handed pitching. All 14 of his homers this year were against righties. I meant to say right-handed pitching. And again, DeGrom looking for a ground ball. 1-1, runners at the corners, one out. First pitch. Fastball, that's over for a called strike. Belt high at 97 in the count. 0-1 to Andre Ethier, who was a real hot hitter over the last third of the season. He batted .333 over the final 51 games. Yasiel Puig had a lot of hamstring problems, really to both legs, and Ethier was one of the beneficiaries. 0-1 the count. DeGrom to the belt, now the pitch. Swing and a looping fly ball, shallow left. Flores out, Conforto in. It drops in for a base hit. The Dodgers take the lead. Gonzalez scores from third. Turner clapping his hands, stops at second. Also clapping his hands with an RBI single. On at first is Andre Ethier. And the Dodgers, with 4 straight hits here in the first inning, have taken a 2-1 lead against Jacob deGrom.
And the last 2 hits have been on pitches to the outside part of the plate. Not really hit that well. But here comes Dan Warthen to take a jog out to talk to deGrom. So he's got to be wondering what the heck, because he had allowed 5 hits total in his last 9 innings against the Dodgers, and now he's allowed 4 consecutive hits after that lineup by Kendrick. And you know, Howie, I got to figure the Dodgers, after that lineup by Kendrick, even though it was an out, they probably thought to themselves, okay, you know what? We're in this thing. That's the hardest anybody hit a ball off deGrom in this series so far. They never hit a scorcher like that in game one.
And now on a night when the key name is Johnny Holstaff, you just wonder how long it will take the Mets, given it's Zach Greinke on the other side. And yes, the Mets scored a run against him, but you're playing for your lives tonight. How long will it take to get the bullpen up? Nobody throwing yet. First and second, 1 out, 2-1 LA. Here is Yasmani Grandal, switch hitter batting left. And the first pitch, fastball way outside, ball 1. Well, the encouraging thing, at least historically, about deGrom, and I can go right back to that last start in game 1, is that, yeah, he was a little bit up and down early, but he settled in beautifully. The Mets just don't have the luxury of waiting here. Grandal, a struggling hitter. The 1-0 breaking ball, and he gets it over for a called strike. It's 1-1. Altogether, Grandal just 5 hits in his last 90 at-bats. But remember, that base hit came against, or the one hit he has in this series came against Matt Harvey. A 2-run single and a 3rd run scored on a Granderson error. 1-1 the count. The pitch. Outside, ball 2, missed with a changeup.
His location's not there quite yet. This is a guy, Grandal, you can pitch inside, especially lately. 5 of his last 90 overall.
deGrom already has thrown 21 pitches in a laborious and so far damaging first inning. Trying to minimize the damage. It's 2-1 LA. 2-1 to Grandal. The pitch. Fastball over for a called strike. 96 miles an hour, and it's 2-2. Kike Hernandez, another guy who, certainly in contrast to Grandal, has been a hot hitter, is waiting on deck. deGrom sets at the belt, checks the runners. Now the 2-2 pitch. Slider down and in, full count. And the way the Dodgers are making contact here against deGrom, you have to wonder. Turner at second, Ethier at first. Neither are speed burners necessarily. The one thing the Dodgers don't want is the double play. If I had to guess, I would think Don Mattingly sends his runners here, if only because the Dodgers are making consistent and good contact against deGrom. 3-2 the count. Let's see. Runners measure their leads. deGrom sets. They don't go. And the pitch is swung on and missed, strike 3. So Mattingly guessed right. DeGrom got what he needed, a strikeout. Now 2 men away, and Hernandez coming up.
It's only the second swing and miss achieved by DeGrom in this first inning, Howie. Remember in that opener, 24 times the Dodgers swung and missed.
So now it's Hernandez, a guy who has done some damage, 4 for 10 in this series. And you go back to mid-season, he hit over 350 in the second half, although he missed almost all of September with a left hamstring injury. 2-1 Dodgers. Turner at second, Ethier at first with 2 out. First pitch, swing and a rip towards third, foul. And that ball was scorched. Hernandez got out in front of it, but he hit a laser in behind third base coach Ron Renicky. And DeGrom gets in front. No balls, 1 strike.
Now the slider usually is such a good secondary pitch for DeGrom, Howie, but he just doesn't have the snap on it yet tonight. That one was middle of the plate.
0-1 to Hernandez. Turner at second, Ethier at first, the outfield straightaway. Here's the pitch. Weak swing and a miss, and the count 0-1. Hard slider there from DeGrom. So he's ahead 0-2 on Hernandez. Guy who plays all over the place. He's played center field in this series. He's moved to left field for defensive purposes. He's in left field tonight. He's played second. He's played short. He's played third. But it's the bat that's the issue now. DeGrom ready, the 0-2. Swung on and missed, strike 3. Comes back to fire a 97-mile-an-hour fastball by Hernandez, and that retires the side. But the Dodgers, with a quick answer, score 2 runs on 4 consecutive hits. No errors, 2 left. Travis just 3 for 16 in the series. First pitch, swing and a foul off the mask of the catcher Grandal, and the count 0-1. Have a question to ask the professors a little later tonight. Josh and I will have the answer. So tweet your question now to @MetsBooth using the hashtag AskTheProf. Brought to you by Rutgers University Continuing Studies. Visit transformrutgers.edu for online certificate programs. Now the 0-1 to d'Arnaud. Swing and a foul, back to the screen. Got a fastball, shot it straight back. And it's 0-2. When d'Arnaud homered in Game 3, it would be the first home run, or was the first home run, ever hit in the postseason at Citi Field. Tommy Agee hit the first postseason home run in Shea Stadium history against the Atlanta Braves in the league championship series. The 0-2, swing on a foul ball down the right field line out of play. There was no division series back in 1969. In fact, it was on this date in 1969 that Ron Swoboda made his catch for all time, and J.C. Martin laid down the famous bunt that won Game 4 of that World Series. In '86, the Mets won the Epic in Houston on this date. 0-2 pitch. Swung on and fouled into the middle of Grandal, strike 3. So, 4 Mets retired, all via strikeout. 3 in a row by Greinke. 1 up, 1 down. Michael Conforto coming up. Nissan's an easier choice than ever with their most exciting and fuel-efficient lineup. Now get great offers across their full line. Shop at your local Nissan store and choose Nissan.com. So here is Conforto. Conforto, you might remember, hit an absolute laser off the foul pole against Greinke in Game 2. First pitch to the left-hand batter. A curve drops in for a called strike 1. I asked Michael if that might have been the hardest ball he's ever hit, at least down the line for a home run, because that one almost took the foul pole off. He said he thought about another one. The 0-1 fastball outside, 1-1. He had one in Atlanta in the Mets' last game here, or in Atlanta this year. That's the one that Murphy tied with 2 out in the 9th. He hit a rip down the right field line he thinks might have been hit even harder than the one that he hit off of Greinke. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Fastball hit in the air, pretty deep to right, down the line, got a chance near the corner, diving is Ethier, and Ethier makes the catch on the warning track, right along the line. A sensational diving catch by Andre Ethier to take at least a double away from Michael Conforto. This one was more parabolic than that liner, and it was not going to go out. Taking a look at the replay, but if that ball dropped fair, probably would have bounced into the seats with that very low railing in the right field corner. But to be sure, Andre Ethier just robbed Michael Conforto of a 2-base hit, and now there are 2 men away.
Well, a great diving catch in right. Just a minute after we referenced Ron Swoboda. That's a tremendous play by Ethier.
So here is Wilmer Flores, right-hand batter. Greinke deals. Fastball is low, 1-0. Ethier actually caught the ball right at the edge of the track. And then he slid all along that track towards that foul pole and right. A 1-0 pitch. Low outside, ball 2. In fact, Greinke was just slapping his bare hand, the pitching hand, onto the heel of his mitt, joining the big crowd here at Dodger Stadium in the ovation for Ethier. Here's a 2-0 to Flores. Taking it low. It's 3-0. A breaking ball from Greinke. Flores 2 out of 7 in the series, and Mets would love to get him on here with Jacob deGrom on deck. Bare minimum, be able to clear the pitcher. Remember, Jake can hit a bit, as Greinke knows. 3-0, and it's in for a called strike. 3-1. Fastball at 93. Dodgers 2, Mets 1. 2 out, nobody on, top of the second. Greinke into the compact windup. The 3-1 to Flores. Swing and a foul. Back to the screen, and now the count is run full.
Greinke just never gives in, does he? 3-0. Got the pitcher on deck, but now I'll get you 3-1 or 3-1, 3-2. Now I'm going to try to strike you out.
Flores has 3 hits and 8 at-bats against Greinke. Greinke at 31 pitches at this point, which is about average, assuming he gets out of this inning without laboring much. Into the windup. Here's the payoff pitch. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. Side retired. Blew a fastball by him at 94. 5 strikeouts for Greinke. The Mets go in order. Let's see if deGrom settles in now. He threw 27 pitches facing Jock Peterson, a left-hand batter, and a first pitch fastball is outside for ball 1. Peterson had a great first half and tailed off terribly in the second half. Breaking balls will do that to rookies. He's a left-hand batter. And the 1-0 breaking ball, that's in for a called strike. And the count 1-1. He was an all-star. The only thing that saved him completely, and he did lose a chunk of playing time, is the fact that he walked a ton, 5th most in the league. The 1-1 on the way. Fastball high and tight. And the count 2-1. And so Peterson, who only hit .210 for the year, had a very respectable .346 on base percentage because of all those walks. And Collins managed Peterson's dad in the minors. 2-1 pitch off the outside corner. Ball 3, missing with a changeup. You got Greinke, the pitcher, on deck. 3 infielders on the right side against the left-hand batter. deGrom into the windup. Here's the 3-1. Fastball down the middle. Strike 2 called. Full count.
That's dangerous, going down the middle. 3-1 to Jock Peterson, who can launch. But he took it all the way.
deGrom, glove in front of his face, getting ready for the windup. But Peterson slow to settle into the box. Now deGrom breaks the hands for a moment, comes back together, and here he comes. Payoff pitch. Outside, ball 4. That didn't miss by much. A 96-mile-an-hour fastball. The first walk of the night allowed by either pitcher, and it means Greinke might well be up there to bunt.
Now, he's such a good athlete, was a shortstop coming up in high school, really wanted to play shortstop instead of pitch. But when he does swing the bat, he's a .224 batter. He's allowed an opponent's average, Howie, of 187, so he's out-hit those he was pitching to this year by more than 40 points.
There's some home runs to his credit, a pair of them. But he squares early here. Right creeps in from third. First pitch. He bunts it up the first base line. Duda's got it. Looks to second. He'll take the out at first. Throws to Murphy in time to get Greinke. Duda thought about it, but Peterson slides in safely at second without the throw. So it's a successful sacrifice, 3-4.
And I kind of like, I don't know about you, Howie, that Duda was under control there. I mean, if he was going to try to get Peterson at second, it was going to be bang, bang. You would have had to make a perfect throw. You take that sure out. I'm fine with that.
Well, now you get to the top of the Dodgers order and some hitters who hit the ball very hard against DeGrom in the first inning. Even though Howie Kendrick had nothing to show for it, he lined out to Duda. First pitch to him. Hit on the ground wide of third. Backhanded into the hole by the shortstop Flores. Long throw is high. Duda's off the bag. Misses the tag on Kendrick. Kendrick is safe at first as Peterson holds at second. Well, a case of Wilmer Flores feeling he needed to speed it up against Howie Kendrick. Wilmer had to move to his right into the hole. He planted. He rushed the throw and sailed it. And Duda coming off the bag to grab it. Tried to sweep a tag down on Kendrick, but didn't reach him. And a potentially costly error gives the Dodgers runners at first and second. One out for Corey Seager. Seager singled sharply to left his first time up. DeGrom to the belt, his first pitch. Fastball outside, ball one. Ask the Professor, sponsored by Rutgers University Continuing Studies. Visit transform.rutgers.edu for online certificate programs. John Van Gordon asks for relief. Do you put in Cologne or Harvey? Well, that may be an apropos question shortly, depending on what happens here. The 1-0 on the way. Fastball low inside, 2-0. I guarantee you it won't be Matt Harvey this early in the game, but they need a long man, even though he's worked in a couple of games consecutively. It could be Bartolo Colon.
And Harvey went to Terry Collins on the plane and said, I want in. If you need me, I'm there. That narrative changes, it seems, every couple of days.
I don't frankly think that anyone really bought into the fact that Terry said that there's no way that he'd use Harvey in relief. I think there was a pretty good chance all along if he'd be needed for a batter or two or an inning at most, he'd be available. Everybody available tonight. DeGrom trying to figure it out. Trailing 2-1. First and second, one out in the second. Dangerous pitch. The 2-0 to Seager. Way outside. Ball three. With Gonzalez on deck and Turner to follow. And again, you just wonder how short the leash will be. There's some movement in the Mets bullpen. No one is throwing yet, but it won't take long. Seager, a very inexperienced hitter. Would he swing 3-0? Here comes the pitch. He swings and he fouls it straight back. 3-1. He went after a 96-mile-an-hour fastball, which tells you the Dodgers are feeling it a little bit here against DeGrom.
The 21-year-old hitting number 2 in the order in a winner-go-home game. And, yeah, he's up there swinging 3-0.
Peterson at second. Kendrick at first with one out. 2-1 Dodgers. 3-1 pitch. Swinging a foul fly going down the left field line out of play. 3-2. And to answer the question, it is Noah Syndergaard, who would be working on 3 days rest, who is getting loose in the Mets bullpen. Not at all unusual to see the bullpen up this early in a decisive game. DeGrom's already thrown 40 pitches. Will the runners go here 3-2? They don't. The pitch fouled back to the screen. A fastball.
That was a fastball up, too. That might well have been ball 4, as there's still an APB out for the command for Jacob DeGrom, and he's running out of time to find it.
Well, it won't be a long search, that's for sure. Peterson starts to walk his lead off at second. Not all that big. Flores in behind him. Kendrick a good lead at first. Duda playing deep. Now the payoff pitch. Swung on and missed. Strike three. A big strikeout for DeGrom. Looked like he went, I believe, to the changeup there to get Seager. The third strikeout for DeGrom. 2 men away. And left-hand hitting Adrian Gonzalez coming up.
Yeah, it had been 6 straight fastballs, Howie. All of them at 96 right on the button. And something a little different. It was actually right down the middle, too, but it was the difference in velocity that fooled him.
Oh, Gonzalez now, who singled to right. His first time up. Dodgers with 4 hits, the Mets 2. Dodgers leading 2-1. DeGrom huffing and puffing, trying to get through this second inning. Outfield straight away against the left-hand hitter. First pitch to Gonzalez. Swing and a foul coming back out of play. Third base side off the facing of the sweet level. And it's 0-1. The most popular way to follow the Mets in the postseason is with MLB.com at bat, the #1 app for live baseball. Enjoy live look-ins, highlights, replay reviews, scores, StatCast, live radio broadcasts, and more. Get MLB.com at bat now. 0-1 to Gonzalez. DeGrom comes set. Here's the pitch. Swing and a foul fly again going back third base side. That one reaches the sweet level with help from a fan who reaches out. Makes a nice catch. And so DeGrom ahead here. No balls and 2 strikes. Still some daylight here. The lights have not taken full effect. And the crowd has settled in to capacity, or very close to it at this point. Owing to the hour, 5 minutes before 6 local time. DeGrom gets the sign from Darno. Comes set. Now the 0-2 to Gonzalez. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. Side retired. And again, DeGrom took something off there. And Gonzalez down on strikes. 4 strikeouts for DeGrom. And the Dodgers come up empty in the second.
If it helps, it's 2015. And it's been a heck of a ride for the Mets. They're trying to keep it going. DeGrom swings right away, fouls it right at home plate, 0-1 against Greinke, who against #9 hitters has been unbelievable. Now, obviously, most of the time a #9 batter is simply a pitcher, but there have been a few pinch hitters in there, too. How about 2 for 99 back to last year? Greinke against the #9 spot. 0-1, a rip and a miss. Inside fastball getting DeGrom to chase. It's 0-2. The one pitcher that's got a hit, and there's been one pinch hitter as well in that 99, it is Jacob DeGrom. And he's down in the count here, 0-2 with Granderson on deck. 2-1 LA in the top of the third. The win or go home game 5. 0-2 pitch. Dusting outside. 1-2 says Gary Cederstrom, our home plate umpire. And if you're looking for some Mets karma, Cederstrom, the man who had a home plate for the Johan Santana no-hitter back in 2012. Third baseman Turner off the line. Here's a rock in the 1-2 pitch taken. A little bit outside, 2-2. Mets baseball brought to you by RE/MAX. RE/MAX agents trained to help you find the perfect fit wherever you go, wherever you're heading, locally or globally. Go to RE/MAX.com to find an agent for all the things that move you. Each office independently owned and operated. 2-1 LA, top of the third. 2-2 pitch. Swinging a chopper foul towards Granderson in the on-deck circle. Mets dugout is on the first base side. Both teams have won a 3-1 game in this series. Dodgers won that controversial game 2, 5-2. The Mets all over the Dodgers in game 3, 13-7. A lot of room in right center for DeGrom. Batting left, waggling the bat. 2-2 pitch, taken. Little bit low, maybe a scotch outside. So from 0-2 to 3-2, and Greinke doesn't look real thrilled. Goes to the back of that pitching rubber, sweeps with his right foot. A little bit of dirt goes flying away. Can DeGrom get on base here to kickstart something in the third inning? Kick in the 3-2 pitch. Swinging a tapper towards second. Kendrick plays the third hop. Rights himself, throws to first in time. 1 down. So make it 2 of a hundo now. That #9 spot in the order back to last year. Greinke, I think that's a representative kind of statistic. You know, this is a guy that just doesn't beat himself that often. He's not going to go out there and hang a pitch to somebody who should not be able to get a hit against him. Granderson has reached on a hit tonight. It was of the infield variety. What a series for Granderson. 7 out of 15. 5 runs batted in, all in one game. Pitch to the lefty. Will find the outside corner, strike 1 off speed. And as for DeGrom, boy, what a task for him. All he's being asked to do is beat arguably the 2 best pitchers in baseball on their home field back-to-back in less than a week. 0-1 to Granderson, high 1-1. We'll say this about DeGrom, who is trailing 2-1. He did a masterful job of tiptoeing through the minefield in both the first and the second. It was 2 on, 1 out in both innings. And DeGrom went on to strike out the next two batters both times. 1-1 delivery. Bouncing ball near first. Right behind the bag. Gonzalez has it. Little lob toss to Greinke on the bag for out number 2. And it brings up the captain, David Wright. Your Tri Honda dealers invite you to park like a pro with the standard multi-view rear view camera in a Honda Civic. Check out the great deals now at TriHondaDealers.com. Greinke in 18 home starts this year has allowed 21 runs. He's 11-1 here. He's never allowed more than 3 runs at Dodger Stadium. That's why when you look back, Howie, at that first inning, the failure for the Mets to get that second run in could be a real thing going forward tonight. Murphy at third, 1 out. They couldn't score him.
I think we felt that in that first inning, that would be a crucial run.
David Wright trying to get one back right here. The pitch from Greinke taken, and it darts to the inside corner. Strike 1 called.
The beauty of it is it's only the third inning.
Yep.
There's a lot of time to make that point moot.
Wright's got 1 hit all series. It was a biggie. It drove in a couple in game 1. 0-1 pitch taken down too low. Well, the road back from the back issue for David Wright this year, and that was helped along by none other than the manager in the opposing dugout. Don Mattingly and David Wright chatting in person right here at Dodger Stadium, 4th of July. Shot of confidence for David after that chat. 1-1 pitch, riding towards the outside corner, but it missed. 2-1. Now, in a winner-take-all game 5, who else but number 5 are you looking to get something cranked up here? Murphy on deck, and then Cespedes. Lights are on at Dodger Stadium, though it's not even twilight yet. 2-1, in under the hands, called a strike. 2-2. Hard 94-mile-an-hour fastball. And again, Greinke most of the year was sitting 91 with that fastball. With the adrenaline in game 5 tonight, he's been consistently at 94. Outfield deep, crowd making plenty of noise here as the 2-2 comes in from Greinke. Taken just outside full count. Wow, that's a tough take. And the crowd lets Gary Cederstrom know they thought that was strike 3. As Howie mentioned, with all the traffic, took a while for all the seats to get filled in tonight, but now they are all filled up. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2-1 LA in the third. The kick and the pitch. Swing and a miss. He got him. Fastball to the outside part of the plate. David Wright has struck out twice in the game, and the Mets go in order. Former Met Justin Turner at the plate. Deep in the box, closed up stance, and he rips and misses at a fastball down the middle, 0-1. Turner an RBI single tonight. He is now 8 out of 16 in this series. He's gone somehow from mediocre to messiah, going from New York to L.A. They love him here with the Dodgers. Close to a 300 batting average this season. 0-1 is pounded down the line and left. Another extra base hit for Justin Turner. On his way to second base with his 5th double of this series. And it's really quite incredible what Justin Turner is doing. It's just like old times. He's putting a pie in the face of the New York Mets. Lead-off double in the bottom of the third, and we'll see if the Mets get the bullpen up again.
Boy, what would you have imagined would have been the odds a few years ago if someone would have told you that Colin McHugh would start a 5th and final game of a playoff series, and Justin Turner would be the cleanup hitter and the most productive hitter on that team for another.
3 doubles off DeGrom alone in this series for the Red Menace, Justin Turner. And now Andre Ethier, the lefty, taking, and it's inside 1-0. Looked like it might have crossed up Darno, who was set up to the outside. So already 5 hits for the Dodgers against DeGrom. That's as many as he gave up over 121 offerings in game 1. Wright is well off the line at third, even with the bag. Room in right center for the lefty Ethier, who takes, and it's on the outside corner. 96-mile-an-hour fastball, now 1-1. Turner with that lead off second. Met fans have to feel like they're watching an ex-girlfriend walk down the aisle with some rich, handsome investment banker here. All of Turner's wildest dreams are coming true, but it's not with them. 1-1 delivery. Little half swing foul up near third. Right in on him at 97. It's 1-2. And again, I'd suggest to you, Howie, the saving grace so far for DeGrom is when the going's gotten tough, when there's been a runner at second base. That's when he's been able to bear down. The Dodgers wasting some big-time opportunities. They had 2 on, 1 out in the first with a couple runs already in. Couldn't add to the lead. They had 2 on, 1 out in the second. Didn't score. A slumping Grandal on deck. So this is a really big batter right here. See if he can get Andre Ethier. A set by DeGrom, the 1-2. It's poked in the air to left field. Conforto started in, going back, makes the catch. And Turner retreats to second base, 1 away. Seems like the lefties are happy to go the other way tonight on DeGrom. Keeping in mind that the lefties as a collective in game 1 were 1 for 17 with a dozen strikeouts. Here is Grandal, switch hitter, batting left.
Remember, the Dodgers hitting coach is Mark McGuire. You don't really think of him much as an opposite field hitter, but he did hit one at Shea Stadium to the opposite field, which probably was the longest ball ever hit by a right-hand hitter. It took out some lights in the visiting team's lineup section of the scoreboard in right center field.
Grandal ready. The pitch down too low, 1-0.
I don't think he can teach these guys to do that, though, especially without the help he had.
You know, another guy with power out that way, prodigious power, had some nice things to tweet about the Mets tonight. That's Mike Piazza. You would think his loyalties would be divided, Mets or Dodgers. Much time as he spent with both teams, he is decidedly pro-Mets. Check of the runner. Here's DeGrom's 1-0. It's taken high, 2-0. 2-1 L.A. trying to add to that lead in the bottom of the third. Scoreboard update sponsored by your Tri-Honda dealers. Visit TriHondaDealers.com and check out their best deals today. There's nothing else. This is it. Everything else has been decided in terms of who's going forward. The Cubs await the winner of this one tonight. Turner going second to third. The pitch taken low. Throw down to third, not in time. In fact, David Wright made a great short hop pick, letting that ball get right into his belly. Otherwise, it's in the left field, and a run comes in. Turner had been dancing a bit off second. Once he realized DeGrom wasn't going to look at him, he went firing down to third. So all this talk about bad knees for Justin Turner, he just stole third base.
Speaking of knees, that's where d'Arnaud threw that ball from, and Turner had such a big jump. I don't think Travis d'Arnaud should have thrown that ball, to be honest with you, because Turner had a great break from second base, and to throw that from your knees, asking for a little bit of trouble, and Wright bailed him out.
Infield comes in. Remember, when Greinke gets to 3 runs, history tells you it's pretty much game, set, match. Mets trying to hold this thing at 2-1. 3-0 to Grandal, who's taking all the way, and it's a high strike up above the belt, 3-1 the count. By the way, that NLCS Game 1 will be Saturday. The Mets are hoping to host the Cubs. Otherwise, it'll be the Dodgers hosting the Cubs. ALCS Game 1 is tomorrow. Runner at third, just 1 out. We're in the bottom of the third. Infield tight, 3-1 pitch taken, up and outside, ball 4. And Syndergaard continues to throw. Here comes Terry Collins. Wow. After Jacob deGrom gave the team 7 amazing, dazzling innings in game 1, he does not get out of the third tonight. It'll be 2 1/3, and it's up to Thor. Syndergaard will have to come in and make sure the Dodgers don't pull away, but there's been no move made quite yet. Terry is out there, and although Syndergaard actually started to jog in, he's now back up on that mound in the bullpen. And you know what? Terry is going to leave him in. Syndergaard will keep on throwing. And Kike Hernandez, the batter, who struck out on a 97-mile-an-hour heater in the first inning. This is a guy that hits a lot of fly balls, not a lot of ground balls. So the odds of a double play here aren't great. But the Mets are poised and ready to turn one here. Wright at third, Flores at short, Murphy at second, Duda at first. DeGrom will get a chance to pitch to at least one more batter. First and third, 1 out, and the pitch fading outside, the slider, 1-0. After a rather pedestrian, if not somewhat concerning September, DeGrom's final start of the regular season was spot on. And his one postseason start here last week was even better. But he's struggling tonight, down 2-1. First and third for the Dodgers. 1-0 pitch. Swing and a miss. He saved with that slider. And Kike Hernandez now will march out of the box with a 1-1 count. DeGrom, the lone Mets All-Star. Fourth in the NL in ERA. He was eighth in strikeouts. Took one square in the jaw from these Dodgers in the first inning. Now he's trying to hit back. First and third, 1-1 pitch. Bouncing ball back to DeGrom. He whips it to second for one. Turn to first. Got him! The double play! Terry Collins stays with DeGrom, and DeGrom rewards his skipper, getting a 1-6-3 DP. The Mets bat in the top of the fourth. And Murphy cranks one into right away, base hit. In between the hole at first and second, so Daniel Murphy is 2 for 2. And the Mets, as the sun starts to set here in L.A., trying to get something going now with Yoenis Cespedes coming up. Top of the fourth, Mets Insider Report presented by Newsday. And joining us here in the booth, Mets beat reporter for Newsday, Mark Carrig. No idea, Mark, what that was all about in the dugout with the Dodgers, but I do know this. They've had a lot of opportunities to make this a lot bigger than a 2-1 lead, and they haven't done it.
You know, and some of that's just also credit to DeGrom. I think he has made some huge pitches here, and you know, some of the pitches he's thrown in this game have been good ones that you got to tip your cap. The Dodgers have done a nice job with them.
Shift is on for Cespedes, who takes a little bit outside 1-0. Three fielders jammed in between second and third base for this powerful right-hander. Cespedes was up with a chance to give the Mets a big lead in the first inning. Already a run in, runner at third and one out, but he struck out. 2-1 ball game in the top of the fourth. Right fielder Ethier very deep. 1-0 pitch, wave and a miss. It's 1-1. Greinke continues to change speed so well. Among the many things he does well. How quickly do you think, Mark, before we let you go, that the call will go to the bullpen tonight? DeGrom doesn't seem to have the best DeGrom kind of stuff.
I'm kind of surprised it hasn't happened already, honestly.
Now, Terry Collins stayed with him going to the mound, and DeGrom got the comebacker double play from Kike Hernandez. 2-1 ball game, top four. Now the pitch. Swing a high fly ball left center field, not deep at all. That ball dropping, but here comes Peterson, makes the catch, firing back towards first, and diving back just in time is Daniel Murphy. Well, Peterson let fly. He's got a good arm. We knew that coming in. Now the batter will be the struggling Lucas Duda. And Mark, I enjoyed your piece today talking about how these 2015 Mets go at it. Seems like the highest degree of difficulty, you said, makes them play very well. Anytime that you think they're dead and buried, whether it's the Flores tearjerker or the deadline deal trade for Cespedes, looked like the Nationals would find a way to overtake them, and they squashed that uprising. It's been pretty remarkable.
Yeah, they've certainly shown that ability, and you can't teach it. And I think, you know, it's a reflection of maybe some of the veteran leadership they've got in there. It's a very solid group of guys, and when you look at the experience they've had, you know, there's a lot. You know, there's a lot they bring to the table. So they've seen it all in that group, and I think certainly that kind of showed through here in the season.
Now the Dodgers will shift for Duda, left-hand batter. Got the first baseman Gonzalez holding on Murphy. Turner again has come all the way over from third to essentially play second base. And the pitch to Duda wanders outside. It's 1-0. Dodgers got their couple of runs with a volley of firecrackers in the first inning. 4 straight singles off DeGrom. Both these teams have had their opportunities to pad whatever they've got. And that's weird to say that this could be a high-scoring game, knowing who the two starters are. 1-0 pitch, wave and a miss, 1-1. What's up with Lucas Duda here, Mr. Carrig?
And it's interesting to see how Terry's played this. He admitted today that the staff had talked about making a change there, putting Murphy at first and having Kelly Johnson play second base. But as we've seen already in the in-game management, you know, Terry's going with his guys, and one of them is Lucas Duda. So
I think that might have been considered a panic move had they made it, even though Duda's been struggling badly.
1-1 the count, 2 on the pitch, dropping low, 2 balls and a strike.
You know, Kelly Johnson hasn't played much. He is what he is. He's a backup infielder, and I think that would have been asking a lot to throw Kelly Johnson in there against Greinke. He hasn't had a lot of at-bats, and due to such a streaky hitter, you know, one big swing could get him back into a hot streak.
I'd agree with that, especially against Greinke. If you can make him, you know, punish him for a mistake, that would be big.
And he's homered once against him.
2-1, he checks his swing, he takes on appeal, no swing, down to third base. It goes to 3-1 on Duda, so it's a home run hitter's count. And remember, the streakiest hitter on the team was in the throes of being good, Lucas, just as the regular season was ending. Trying to pick up the story from where he put the bookmark in the pages right now. Tying man at first, that's Murphy. You got d'Arnaud on deck. 2-1 in the 4th inning. Now the pitch, Duda taking, and it is low for ball 4. Duda had to check and make sure. Greinke doesn't walk too many, but he has just walked Duda. And Murphy now tearing from second to third. Nobody's covering third. Time apparently was never out. Daniel Murphy with the heads-up play of the night. You talk about the crazy oscillation of a certain player. Daniel Murphy at times makes you conk your forehead and say, what is he doing? And you mean it in quite the pejorative way. This time it's, what was he doing? That was amazing. He saw nobody had called time, so he just darted from second to third.
He is simultaneously a heads-up and a reckless player out there, and in this instance, that was heads up.
That's amazing. In Game 5, off of a walk to Duda, Greinke was just kind of rolling in for the ball, kind of took a swipe at it, and remember, because the shift was on.
Yeah, that's on Justin Turner, frankly.
Nobody got back to third base, and because nobody called time, you talk about stealing a base.
I mean, Justin Turner just started to walk ever so slowly from the right side of second base. As Murphy got to second, there was no one close to the bag.
Saw Johnny Damon do something similar in the 2009 World Series, advance from first to third.
Well, the only thing that works against you now with a runner at first base is Travis d'Arnaud has been hitting the ball on the ground a lot, and Greinke knows he's a double play ball away from getting out of the inning. The pitch is carved foul out of play right side. It's 0-1. Well, you don't call time. You leave yourself at the peril of somebody who's going to outthink you real quick. And Daniel Murphy, knowing that he was going to win a foot race with the 3 Dodgers trailing him, Greinke wasn't going to get over there in time. He just made a beeline for the bag, so now it's first and third, 1 out, and a 2-1 game, top of the 4th. Greinke at the belt. Greinke winds and fires. A swing and a high fly ball, right field, not deep. Ethier back into the corner, makes the catch, loads, fires. Here comes Murphy. He's going to score on a sac fly. It's 2-2, and Daniel Murphy is the man who's essentially gotten the Mets both their runs. His double drove in a run in the first inning, and his heads-up play here in the 4th essentially sets up a 2-2 tie.
And in case some fans are thinking, well, maybe Ethier should have just let that ball drop in. No, you've got to take the out this early in the game. He was in an impossible position, really, to try to make a strong throw to the plate to get Murphy, but you've got to take the out there. And that run is on Daniel Murphy, but it's on Justin Turner as well.
Turner, who's been so strong with a bat in this series, now Conforto with a runner on, and the pitch is low, 1-0. And again, I go back to how big has DeGrom been when he absolutely needed to be on a night where he hasn't had the snappy command. Terry Collins left him in the 3rd inning. He got the comebacker and turned the double play.
That was a heck of a pitch on that double play, too.
The 1-0 is low, 2-0. And I got to say, Greinke's not exactly Mr. Command tonight either. Not for him. Conforto has stung the ball a couple times against Greinke for a home run off the foul pole. Almost chipped the paint off in Game 2. And a line shot down the right field line tonight. Ethier robbed him. The 2-0 pitch. Changeup strike on the inside corner, 2-1. Geared up for the fastball, didn't get it. 2-2 game in the 4th inning. Mets with 1 in the 1st and 1 in the 4th. And with time never having been called, Murphy and his ability to go from second to third after a walk to Duda is what sets up the tie. 2-1 pitch. Swing and a miss off speed again. 2-2. Well, the Mets are making Greinke work a little bit now. Here comes the crowd with that go-ahead man at first. The series is tied 2-2. The game is tied 2-2. Twilight time at Dodger Stadium. Lights are on. Fans are going crazy. Shift is on for Conforto. Seager stands between second and third back on the grass. And now time called. That'll quiet down the crowd for a moment. Wilmer Flores on deck. The 19-3 Zach Greinke to the belt. And the 2-2 pitch. Swinging a tapper towards Seager. He's got it. Little flip to Turner, who's on the bag, and that's the inning. But Daniel Murphy's brain has the Mets the tie run here in the top of the fourth inning. Here's Jock Peterson against DeGrom, taking on the outside corner, strike one. Domino Sugar, the real way to do sweet. Visit dominosugar.com for recipes and coupons today. On a night where it's been a bit of a struggle for Jacob DeGrom, the All-Star. He's got the Mets and the Dodgers fastened in now at 2-2 in the bottom of the fourth inning. Peterson swings, doesn't get it. He's behind 0-2. Fastball at 95 miles an hour. Next time you need to send money, send it online at westernunion.com or with its mobile app. Send money online quick as a click. westernunion.com. Long-haired righty in with the 0-2 pitch. Bunt is shown, and Peterson steps away. He wasn't really going to bunt. But he was going to take there 0-2. And the pitch did miss inside. Greinke is on deck, squatting in the on-deck circle. Rock on the rubber, 1-2 delivery. It's taken a high. 2 balls, 2 strikes. In game 4, Clayton Kershaw dropped the cone of silence on a raucous party. DeGrom was trying to do the same thing here tonight. 2-2 pitch taken, and it's low, full count. Thing is, the Dodgers started hammering away at DeGrom right away in the first inning, so this crowd's been quite into it. But every potential time that the Dodgers have had a chance for a real big inning, DeGrom has found his way. Right here, he's gone from 0-2 to 3-2 on the number 8 batter, a strikeout machine in Peterson. Payoff pitch. It's taken inside. It's ball 4. And the strikeout machine never got going. He lost him after being ahead 0-2, and now Greinke again can go ahead and bunt if he'd like.
Well, as hard as DeGrom has worked tonight, that might be a telltale walk, because even though Peterson does draw a lot of walks, the Dodgers have had multiple base runners in each of the first 3 innings, and yet they come to the plate in the bottom of the fourth, even 2-2, and they've got to be wondering to themselves what's going on here. And DeGrom, given a fresh start, winds up walking the number 8 hitter. That's a cautionary note.
Wright comes in at third, ready for the bunt. It is up the first base line, though. Duda picks it up. Murphy covering at first base. Another sac bunt for Greinke, and again it's on the first pitch. Well, he's doing the little things well enough. Now we'll see if Howie Kendrick can be kept in check. We've talked about Kendrick as a fastball hitter, and he's put it in play hard a couple times tonight. But he's 0 for 2. He was lined to first, and he reached on the Flores throwing error.
Now watch Peterson. He's got good speed at second base, too, if you're thinking about a stolen base here.
There's already been tonight a steal of third by the Dodgers. And, of course, one by the Mets. Pitch on the way, taken, and it buzzes to the inside corner, strike one on Kendrick. Got a guy on the bench for the Dodgers who was always so good at the steal of third. That's Jimmy Rollins. Two tie, bottom of the fourth. Go-ahead man at second with one out for L.A. DeGrom at the belt. Here he comes, taken, and it's low, 1-1. Speaking of Rollins, by the way, he was the one Dodger who went and actually checked in on Ruben Tejada the other night when he was in the X-ray room. Shortstop to shortstop, wanted to let him know that people were thinking about him. Wind in the 1-1, swing, a high fly ball center field, backing is Cespedes. Peterson going to tag at second. Cespedes deep enough, and he's going to throw towards third. Peterson heading towards third. He's in there, toddling on the bag. Safe the call. Jim Wolf eyeballing that third base bag just to see if perhaps Peterson would go off it just for a millisecond. Of course, you can go to the replay and probably find a millisecond, but it's a runner at third, 2 out now for Corey Seager.
What a throw. I mean, what a throw on one hop to David Wright. And Peterson had his hands full staying on that bag.
Again, when the runner slides in there and the hydroplane's even a little, now you've got replay, and all you need is that one freeze frame that shows just a little bit of daylight. So if you're David Wright, you hold the tag. Tell you what, that right foot was kind of slip sliding around, right? Looking at the replay here as Peterson went in. Seager has been trying to go to the opposite field on DeGrom, and he's done it with a little bit of success. Got a single and a double off him in this series. Runner at third, 2 out. The pitch lined third base side, foul out of play, 0-1. Seager last time up saw a flurry of fastballs, and then finally something different. Changeup that he swung right through. He is 3 out of 14 in the series. 2 of those hits against DeGrom. 0-1 delivery taken, and that's outside. You've got Adrian Gonzalez on deck. Outfield is tilted to left, knowing about that tendency for this young hitter to go the other way. 1-1 pitch, swing and a miss, 1-2. They took something off, followed 97 with 85 to give the youngster something to think about. Seager, whose older brother is an all-star third baseman in Seattle. 2-2 game, bottom 4. Deciding game in the best of 5. Mets and Dodgers in L.A. 1-2 pitch is high. 2 balls, 2 strikes. DeGrom is up close to 75 pitches, and he's in the 4th inning. Looked like he was going to be taken out of the game. Last inning was left in to face Kike Hernandez. He got a double play.
He had 80 through 4 in game 1.
Infield back with 2 out. 2-2 pitch. Swinging a foul. He just got a piece. The Dodgers, remember, have been brilliant at home. They're 56-27 here. And you're hoping the individual brilliance of Jacob DeGrom could tilt everything back in the Mets' favor. But he's really had to sweat it out tonight. Not coming nearly as easily tonight as it did in game 1. Runner at third, 2 out. Infield back. DeGrom has the sign he wants. The 2-2 is lined. Foul out of play, third base seats. Well, you had DeGrom and Greinke came in with a combined ERA of about 2. But this game is tied at 2. This crowd going crazy again, waving those white towels they were given as they came in tonight. The 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. He got him. Pulled the string. And DeGrom is off the mound. Again, the Dodgers get a man in a scoring position. Threaten to break it open. And they just can't do it. We'll go to the 5th in game 5. Mets 2, Dodgers 2 on the WOR Mets Radio Network, driven by your Tri-Honda dealers.
First pitch to Wilmer is a fastball taken for a called strike. 0-1. We're coming to you live from the Bigelow Tea broadcast booth. Bigelow, family tea blenders since 1945. Greinke has struck out 6. He's walked 1. Right-hand batter, the 0-1. Wilmer holds up, doesn't matter. Pitches on the outside corner, a fastball, and quickly it's 0-2. Hear all the time about hitters picking up their pitcher and sometimes vice versa. Well, tonight DeGrom picked up Flores after he made an error, which really could have hurt the Mets back in the 2nd inning. Here's the 0-2 on the way. A little bit low, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Flores made a throwing error on a ground ball to short by Howie Kendrick. That put runners at first and second with 1 out. And DeGrom came back to strike out the next 2 batters. So Flores wants to thank him back now. Well, he got that pavilion out there and left and right fields. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Swinging a chopper foul straight down off his foot. Your Tri-Honda dealers know these streets better than anyone. They have the perfect Honda model for you. Visit TriHondaDealers.com to check out their best deals today. So both starters making it into the middle innings. You certainly would have assumed that given their pedigree, but the Mets have had the bullpen up. Noah Syndergaard has been throwing. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Flores fouls it back to the screen. And the later you go in this game, the more intriguing the bullpen choices become. Syndergaard was throwing as early as the second inning. And on 4 days rest, well, wouldn't have been that big a deal. Terry Collins' voice concerned about using him, say, in the 8th inning when the whole season could be on the line. But I think that's a smoke screen, too. 1-2 the count. Here's the pitch to Flores. Swung on and missed, strike 3. Actually foul tipped it into the mid of Grandal. Second time Wilmer is struck out. 7 strikeouts for Zach Greinke. So 1 away. And Wilmer Flores coming up. Mets fans, don't miss the opportunity to be a part of the 2016 season. Place a deposit on a 2016 full or partial ticket plan today for the opportunity to select your 2016 seating location at our annual Select a Seat event this fall. Seat selections will be filled at the event in order of deposit date. First pitch on the way to DeGrom. Swings and misses at a breaking ball, 0-1. Way out in front of the curve and badly fooled. Reserve your place now by going to Mets.com/deposits today. 2-3-1 for the Mets, 2-5-1 for the Dodgers. 1 out, nobody on, top of the 5th. The 0-1. DeGrom lays off a fastball. That's outside. So the count even to Jake, 1-1. Curtis Granderson waiting on deck. Even with all that nervous tension, some fans trying to start a wave in the right field pavilion. It's catching on slowly. Why? Who knows? The 1-1. Broken bat, looper in the air towards third. Backing up Turner. He makes the catch. And there are 2 men away. Well, DeGrom gets his bat sawed in half by Greinke. 2 out, nobody on. Granderson will kill some time to allow DeGrom to get back in the dugout. So here comes Curtis, who singled an infield hit in the first. Remember, he was the first batter of the game, and he grounded to second, and it was ruled that he beat the throw to first, even though originally the call was out from the first base umpire, Chad Fairchild. Well, they took another look, and it was in fact ruled that Curtis was in, and he wound up scoring on Murphy's hit, which was originally scored a triple, later changed to a double, and an error on the left fielder Hernandez. First pitch to Granderson. Taken on the inside corner of the knee. Strike 1 called. David Wright struggled with a bat, waiting on deck. 3 infielders on the right side against Granderson. Greinke into the compact wind-up, the 0-1 pitch. Swinging a high fly ball to left field, not deep at all. Angling in Hernandez, under it, and he makes the catch. Side retired. Greinke gets the Mets in order, and in the middle of the 5th, it's the Mets 2, the Dodgers 2 on the WOR Mets Radio Network, driven by your Tri-Honda dealers. Gonzalez singled and struck out. Left-hand batter. DeGrom delivers. A fastball on the inside corner at the knees. 0-1. Gonzalez now has hit in all 5 games of this division series. DeGrom holds that glove in front of his face, getting the sign from Darno. Taking his time. Now into the windup. The 0-1 pitch. Swinging a chopper towards first, a foul ball. Davey Lopes, the first base coach, totally indifferent. Just watches it roll beyond his reach and lets the ball girl pick it up. Davey Lopes, of course, big part of an infield that played together longer than any. Garvey at first, Lopes at second, Russell at short, Say at third. In the 70s and early 80s. 0-2, the count to Gonzalez. DeGrom into the windup. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed, strike 3. Got him with a fastball at 95. 6 strikeouts for DeGrom. One out, and Justin Turner coming up. The scoreboard update is sponsored by the New York Lottery. Make the most of the numbers in front of you every day. Play Win 4 and numbers from the New York Lottery. The American League Championship Series begins tomorrow. The Toronto Blue Jays in Kansas City to face the Royals. Marco Estrada will face Edinson Volquez. National League Championship Series will begin Saturday night, either here in Los Angeles or at Citi Field in New York. Turner 2 for 2. What's new? And he fouls the first pitch back upstairs to the right of home plate. And the count 0-1. Chicago Cubs will go with Jake Arrieta. And some intriguing decisions to be made, really, by whichever team wins this. If the Dodgers do, well, if they go with Kershaw, he'll be working on 3 days rest. Obviously, Greinke would not be available to start 48 hours from now. The 0-1. Taken low and outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. We're checking on that Chicago starter. We're getting word it could be John Lester. And then the Mets, well, if they win, they've got Harvey on 4 days rest. Syndergaard on, I guess that would be 6. Here's the 1-1 to Turner. Swing and a drive towards the gap in left center. Cutting across. Conforto reaches out. Can't get it. It rolls to the wall. Picked up by Cespedes on the warning track. Turner to second. And he's in there with a double. Conforto left his feet. Fortunately for the Mets, Cespedes was able to back up. But Conforto a little indecisive as he approached that ball. And that allowed Turner to get to second base. They'll score it a double. Justin Turner is 3 for 3 in this game.
Now, he had already been, Howie, the only Dodger with 4 doubles in one playoff series. Now he's got 6 in one playoff series.
Well, Andre Ethier, a left-hand hitter, the batter, then Grandal, and or the way Ethier has been swinging the bat, you've got to be very careful with him here. Grandal on deck as a switch hitter, then you've got the right hand hitting Hernandez. Let's see how carefully the Mets pitch to Ethier. The Dodger crowd is up. Ethier singled in a run in the first. First pitch, and he starts him out with a breaking ball and gets it over for a called strike. 0-1. Ethier is really amped up, or he was earlier in this game. He was storming around the Dodger dugout in the 3rd inning and appeared extremely angry at something or someone. Without knowing the context, we won't bother trying to read into it, but his adrenaline is extra high, or at least it was then. Here's the 0-1. Change up in the dirt. 1 ball and 1 strike. And again, when you give him a hit here, with first base open, Grandal, a switch hitter on deck. Right-hand hitter behind him.
That's a really struggling switch hitter at that on deck in Grandal.
Flores at short, lined up directly behind the runner, Justin Turner. Atoned in large part with that hit for falling asleep earlier defensively, allowing Murphy to steal third after a walk to Duda, who's taking him to second. And the crowd boos because DeGrom just spun towards second without making a throw, chasing Turner back. 2-2 game. Turner the runner at second. 1 out. DeGrom sets. Now the 1-1 to Ethier. Fastball, but it's outside. 2-1. DeGrom hit the target with d'Arnaud set up away. I don't think they mind if they walk Ethier here. You just don't want to make a mistake to him. Guy who has been one of the better hitters among left-hand hitters against right-handed pitchers in all of baseball. Now DeGrom sets. 2-1 pitch. Breaking ball. He gets it over. A called strike. 2-2. So DeGrom going to a curve. And the count even on Andre Ethier.
He might have had the biggest tilt of any breaking ball he's thrown all night.
DeGrom staring in. Duda off the line at first with a left-hand hitter. Right off the line as well at third. And again, DeGrom wheels to second.
Well, fans can boo all they want, but Turner's already stolen third base once tonight. That's just a prudent thing to do if you're DeGrom.
Murphy maybe just an extra step shaded towards the second base bag. DeGrom comes set. Turner bouncing off the second. 2-2 pitch. Breaking ball nubbed right at home plate. It kicks foul. He went for the curve again. And this time Ethier got a piece of it. DeGrom working very hard here against Ethier.
There's 12 at-bats already, Howie, for the Dodgers with a runner in scoring position. We're in the 5th inning. So the emotional tax on DeGrom has to be huge.
Nothing to hold back for here in a Game 5 of a 5-game series. Noah Syndergaard once again throwing in the Mets bullpen. He's been up a couple of times. 2-2 the count. Here's the pitch. Fastball popped up. He jammed him, and he pops it up to the left side of the infield. Flores, the shortstop, waiting. Makes the catch. 2 men away. Well, DeGrom with a gutsy pitch. He came in at a 97-mile-an-hour fastball clip on the hands of Andre Ethier and popped them up. Now 2 men away, and Yasmani Grandal, a switch hitter who will bat left, is coming up.
L.A. 0 for its last 10 with runners in scoring position after that parade of singles in the first. DeGrom just does not break tonight. He's bending plenty, but he's not breaking.
Grandal has struck out and walked. Now Murphy, the second baseman, has dropped about 15 feet out into short right field. First pitch, Grandal takes a changeup for a called strike. It's 0-1. Flores, the shortstop, angles towards the bag a bit. He's lined up behind Turner. Right, off the line with a left-hand batter up. DeGrom comes set. The 0-1 to Grandal. Fastball in tied, 1-1. That was the 90th pitch thrown by DeGrom in this game, and we are in the 5th inning. Through 121 pitches in Game 1. 1-1 the count. Flores sneaks in behind Turner, and DeGrom simply steps off. You might recall that DeGrom was throwing in the bullpen during Game 4 at Citi Field on Monday night, or Tuesday night, whatever the heck night it is anymore. Who remembers? But that was a long, long shot that he would be called on in that game. 1-1 pitch, curve, and it's in for a called strike, 1-2. Terry Collins' explanation was that if the Mets had taken the lead, they might try to make DeGrom the bridge to Familia with a chance to end the series. But you know what? Even though DeGrom was throwing, it was his day to throw a bullpen. They just held it back from the afternoon until during the game, and Jacob never thought he'd pitch that night. 1-2 the count. Now the pitch. Breaking ball in there. Strike 3 called. Side retired. So DeGrom picks up his 7th strikeout, and the Dodgers are done in the 5th. No runs, 1 hit, no errors. 1 man left. They're 2 for 13 now with men in scoring position, including 11 straight. And David Wright will lead off against Greinke. David has struck out twice. He has really struggled in this series. First pitch to him is taken down the middle, a called strike 1. Wright is now 1 for 14 and has struck out half the time. 7 strikeouts, including the 2 tonight. He was here at 10:15 this morning. 7 hours just about before game time. Part of that, his new routine to prepare. The 0-1 fastball popped up. Shallow right. Gonzalez out. Ethier in. Ethier right at the line. Makes the catch in fair foul territory. Make it foul territory in shallow right field. So 1 away. And now Daniel Murphy will hit with Yoenis Cespedes on deck, offering protection in the lineup. Just as Norman Seabrook and the Corrections Officers Benevolent Association protect and patrol the toughest precincts in New York, the jails. Coba, New York's boldest. Well, the Mets certainly have a right to be thinking, well, all right, we keep dodging bullets defensively. It's up to us to try and give DeGrom the lead. Murphy did that in the first inning with a double. He's 2 for 2, or at least he helped. First pitch taken low outside, ball 1. He also was a runner at third and was not able to score. There were strikeouts to Cespedes and Duda, and that second run the Mets didn't get in that first inning still looms pretty large. Now the 1-0 pitch. Fastball, and that's taken inside. 2-0 to Murphy. There's been a lot of talk about Daniel Murphy's future from the standpoint of, would he become the first player ever to take a qualifying offer, which would be, nearly $16 million? Would the Mets tender him one? Imagine they would. Here's the 2-0. And that's taken on the inside corner, strike one. Of course, if you're going to pour $16 million into Murphy, that might limit you in other areas. The Mets don't know, of course, if Yoenis Cespedes will be back next year. That is a much pricier and dicier, sorry, Clyde, situation for the Mets, but that'll be resolved later. The 2-1 to Murphy. Taken low, 3-1 with Cespedes on deck. Murphy with a double, a single, and then it wasn't exactly his wild run to third. He was very much under control when Duda walked with that infield overshifted, and Murph just trotted to second, saw nobody headed to third, most notably Justin Turner from the right side of the infield, and Murphy made it easily. Now it's 3-1. Here's the pitch. Swinging a rip towards first, foul ball. Just got out in front. And a full count now to Daniel Murphy. Mets fans, make the call to the bullpen and replace that inefficient beast in your basement with an American-made Peerless Boiler. Go to PeerlessBoilers.com for more info and to find a dealer near you. Remember, Peerless builds America's best boilers. Murphy, by the way, did get credit for a run batted in the first, even though they changed the scoring. Payoff pitch. Swing and a drive deep to right, down the line, and there it goes. Daniel Murphy, a home run, has given the Mets the lead here in the sixth inning. It is 3-2 New York. Murphy's third hit of the game, and Daniel Murphy is writing some kind of story. Whether this is his swan song as a Met or not, who knows? But he has just given the Mets the lead for the second time in this game.
Mets glory on Dodger Stadium turf. It's a remarkable series for Daniel Murphy. You homer twice off Kershaw, and then you ice the cake with Greinke?
Wait a minute now. That cake's still in the oven. There ain't nothing iced about this thing yet.
I'm just saying.
Sixth inning.
No, I'm saying for him. Murphy's series has been amazing.
He has been terrific. And here is Cespedes. Swings and misses at a slider from Greinke. 0-1. Cespedes all geared up for the fastball. But Murphy, 2 RBIs in this game. That's 5 in the series. Those 3 home runs. Everybody's just assumed he'll be playing somewhere else next year. Who knows? Certainly isn't losing money the way he's played in this series. Everybody's talking about Cespedes' glue. Here's the 0-1. Lays off. It's high. 1-1.
He yanked a 93-mile-an-hour fastball into about the 10th throw out there, Howie. Triple away from the cycle, technically, now tonight, since they changed the triple to a double, but it's 3 for 3 plus that huge steal of third.
That is a play, as you alluded to earlier, that if the Mets win this game, they'll remember forever. The 1-1 to Cespedes, chopped foul up the third base line, 1-2. You know, if you're a baseball fan who believes in reading about the history of the game, even though it was going on long before you were born, there was Enos Slaughter's mad dash for the Cardinals when Johnny Pesky of the Red Sox supposedly held the ball in the 1946 World Series. The Mets were a long way from the World Series, and Murphy's dash wasn't exactly mad, but it could really turn out to be memorable. 1-2 to Cespedes. Greinke kicks and deals. Swung on and missed, strike 3. Got him with that slider in the dirt. And Greinke has his 8th strikeout, 2 men away.
All year long, Howie, all the talk has been about good Murph versus bad Murph. The manager has even kind of gotten in on it, calling him Murphalicious when things are going well. And this is the most Murphalicious night of the year. It comes against Greinke. And the Mets have their first lead all night at 3-2.
Now, the question is, how do the Mets mix and match the bullpen, figuring DeGrom may only have another inning in him, if that. Here is Duda, who has struck out and walked. Three infielders right side. Takes a curveball. It's high. Ball one. Again, Greinke's pitch count right here is nothing alarming. It's at 88. He's basically on schedule for where you want to be at this point of the game with 2 out in the 6th. 3-2 Mets. Greinke with a 1-0. Fastball misses outside. Ball 2.
You know, Greinke's never given up more than 3 runs in any game he's pitched at home as a Dodger. He's at 3 tonight, and again, mostly because of Murph.
Who knows? This could be his last game as a Dodger. The 2-0. Take it on the inside corner, a called strike, 2-1. Basically, it amounts to, does he want to pass up $71 million guaranteed in the next 3 years, or opt out and look for a whole lot more? The 2-1 pitch. Fastball, pop foul, going back to the left and out of play. It's 2-2. Most people seem to think he's going to opt out, and that doesn't mean he won't sign back with the Dodgers. After all, with a $300 million payroll, what's a little more? Two and two to Duda. Greinke kicks and delivers. Fastball popped up behind home plate. Grandal back, hoping for a play, but it's going to be in the seats about a half dozen rows. 95-mile-an-hour fastball there from Greinke.
Who's going to be seeing Daniel Murphy in his dreams, you figure. Murph is 4 for his last 5 against him, including the 3 for 3 tonight. Bryce Harper was the guy, Howie, who memorably said this summer that he didn't think Greinke was very tough. Everybody thought that was a very silly statement. Murphy channeling his inner Bryce Harper of all things.
2-2 the count. Now the pitch. Duda takes a fastball for a call. Strike 3. Side retired. 9 strikeouts for Greinke. So the Mets take the lead. A run on a hit. A Murphy homer. Suarez, nobody left. Middle of the 6th. The Mets 3, the Dodgers 2. And DeGrom's first pitch to the right-hand batter is swung on and missed. A slider, 0-1.
It was like Chris Hatcher in that Dodger bullpen. And if they need a couple innings out of it, Jansen, their closer, they could do that tonight.
Hatcher has clearly been the best choice before Kenley Jansen for the Dodgers. The 0-1, Hernandez takes low, 1 ball and 1 strike. For the Mets, if they've got to go to the bullpen now, it could be anybody.
Yep.
Absolutely anybody. DeGrom with a 1-1. Breaking ball, roll to second. Moving to his left, Murphy. He's got it. Throws to first. In time, 1 away.
Arguably, Howie, the only guy it might not be is Syndergaard because he's been up and down 4 times.
That's a good point. You worry about that with a pitcher who's inexperienced, working as a reliever to begin with, and then to get him up more than once, well, that becomes even dicier. But again, there are a lot of rolls of the dice in final games of playoff series. A lot of that, too, depends on DeGrom. He's facing Jock Peterson now, who has walked twice. And he does that. I mentioned he is 5th in the league in walks this year, but DeGrom was ahead of him once, 0-2, and walked him. 3 infielders on the right side. The first pitch on the inside corner, a called strike, 0-1. Change up from DeGrom.
A couple of things that have happened to Don Mattingly tonight. One of them, I think, Howie, is starting Kike Hernandez over Carl Crawford on kind of a hunch tonight. That hasn't worked out yet at all.
The 0-1 taken outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. It is Greinke who is on deck right now. If Peterson reaches base, particularly in scoring position, that could change. The 1-1. Outside with a changeup. It's 2-1.
This bottom of the order has actually been productive after Hernandez because Peterson has walked twice and Greinke's bunted him over twice. But Grandal and Hernandez have not done it.
2-1 pitch, swung on and missed. Challenged him, beat him at 95. And it's 2-2, and Peterson takes his helmet off and goes for a walk. DeGrom about to throw his 100th pitch. He threw 121 in 7 innings in game 1. He's got 1 out in the 6th here. The 2-2 pitch. High. Missed badly with a fastball there. And it's 3-2 to the walking machine, Jock Peterson.
Well, it hasn't been a clean inning yet for DeGrom. In fact, there's been a runner in scoring position in every inning, let alone a base runner in every inning.
3-2 the count. DeGrom into the windup, delivers. Swinging a high pop-up. Right side of the infield. David Wright, the third baseman with the overshift, makes the catch 2 men away. Well, let's see. Is it Greinke? It will be Zach Greinke to come up to hit. So Don Mattingly figuring he's going to ride Greinke as long as he possibly can, which is usually very sound strategy. And with 2 out, nobody on. And remember, Greinke can hit. He's got a couple of home runs this year. He will be the batter.
And going forward, Greinke usually just as strong in the 7th as he is in the 1st or 2nd inning. And you know he wants to stay in.
DeGrom with his first pitch. Right down the middle, a called strike, 0-1.
Howie, how incredible is it that DeGrom is still pitching in the 6th inning after all he was through early in this game?
Quite would be the best way to put it. And the 0-1. Breaking ball lifted in the air to left, not deep. Hooking, foul, and out of play. So it's 0-2. New York Mets baseball is brought to you by RE/MAX. RE/MAX agents are trained to help you find the perfect fit wherever you go or wherever you're heading, locally or globally. Go to RE/MAX.com to find an agent for all the things that move you. Each office independently owned and operated. 0-2 to Greinke. DeGrom delivers. Low with a fastball, 1-2. Greinke successfully sacrificed twice in this game. Just the way he dropped those bunts down. You know he can really handle the bat. Just letter perfect bunts to the right side. Now the 1-2. Fastball driven to the gap in right center. Pretty deep. Back goes Granderson. He'll get there. Makes the catch. Side retired. Well, that was some drama that the Mets didn't need, but Granderson put it away. And would you believe Jacob DeGrom finally has his first 1-2-3 inning of the night?
So it's Greinke to Darno, and the Met catcher takes low 1-0, coming to you live from the Bigelow Tea broadcast booth. Bigelow, family tea blender since 1945. Greinke has seemingly gotten his way here tonight in that he's continued into the 7th inning. I'd suggest even the fact who's catching him tonight. That is a Zach Greinke choice. He likes Grandal because of how he frames back there. 1-0 pitches popped up back behind the plate. Grandal sheds the mask. Coming back towards that screen, he is out of room. It's back in the first row. Watch out, Larry King and Scott Boras and other assembled celebrities. But think about it, Howie. Grandal, who is 5 for his last 92 right now, is in this game instead of A.J. Ellis, who's actually been hitting pretty well. Greinke just likes throwing to Grandal, who's been up in some big spots tonight and has not produced. Kike Hernandez got the start tonight. I mean, he's struck out with 2 on. He's hit into a double play with 2 on. A couple guys he thought might not be playing tonight for the Dodgers. They have played, and they have not done anything yet.
Syndergaard throwing again.
How? Essentially the 5th time he's been up. Pitch on the way. Darno swings, and he dribbles one towards first. Gonzalez plays it off to his right. Just kind of flicks it across to Greinke covering. 1 up, 1 down.
The Dodgers have Avalon, the left-hander, Hatcher, the right-hander, throwing.
Now we'll see what choice Terry Collins makes out of that bullpen. Your choices matter, too. Drive responsibly. A reminder from the New York City Department of Transportation and the Vision Zero initiative. If it's Syndergaard, he is certainly warm. He's been throwing out there since basically late in the 2nd inning at various times. Michael Conforto will come up, and the Dodgers will shift. And that tells a tale tonight, too, that shift with Turner going over from 3rd, playing to the right of second base as we see it. When Murphy was on base, he saw that nobody was covering 3rd, and he just took off after a walk. The pitch, a strike to Conforto at the knees, 0-1. Murphy is the man of the match so far. 3 for 3, home run, that tricky little steal. Couple of runs scored and a run batted in. 1 strike delivery now. Conforto swings, bounces it right back to the mound. Greinke's got it, takes his time, lobs one over to first, 2 away. So it goes 3-1, then 1-3, and up comes Wilmer Flores. Visit your Tri Honda dealers. Check out the Honda Accord with available blind spot detecting lane watch. The only thing you won't see coming is a great price. Check it out at TriHondaDealers.com. DeGrom is on deck for now, but you don't figure he's going to keep on keeping on here. He has had one hand on the building ledge, trying to hang on for dear life since the very first inning. Pitch on the way to Flores now from Greinke. Swing, and it's drilled up the middle. Base hit for Wilmer Flores. As again, the Mets have a little bit of success attacking right away. DeGrom now will head back. He will not bat. We know he's done. And what a gritty performance it was tonight to lead 3-2.
Well, Josh, assuming it's Syndergaard, let's see if Luis Avilon comes into the game here. You kind of imagine he would. No move yet by Don Mattingly. But assuming that it is Syndergaard, well, Terry Collins is going to be asking him to do something he's not done before.
Kelly Johnson in the on-deck circle hasn't been announced quite yet. All right, so if you're Don Mattingly, what do you do now? Do you stick with Greinke? Do you go get that lefty you've had up in the bullpen? And finally, there's some movement from out of that Dodger dugout.
That's where Honeycutt goes. Well, it may be that they would prefer a matchup of Greinke to Kelly Johnson than they would potentially, say, Avalon against Michael Kadire, who could hit for Johnson.
Syndergaard is still the only man throwing in the Met bullpen. So after we figured really a couple of different junctures tonight that maybe we don't see Syndergaard, we apparently will see Syndergaard. And Rick Honeycutt, close friends of Terry Collins, by the way, back to that Dodger dugout third base side. And it will be Greinke to face the pinch hitter here. Kelly Johnson, one of those late July acquisitions. Juan Uribe, maybe the more charismatic one, but Kelly Johnson has certainly had a nice showing as a Met. He is 0 for 9 lifetime against Greinke. But he is left-handed. I guess Kirk Neuenhuis would have been the other option. 1 on, 2 out. It is 3-2 New York in the top of the 7th. Trying to pad the lead against Greinke. And the pitch is up and outside 1-0.
Well, there's got to be a lot of hand-wringing going on, you know, sort of figuratively in Terry Collins' mind about not giving DeGrom that one more inning, despite the high pitch count, settling in, retiring 5 in a row. But that top of the order has hit him hard at one time or another tonight, and they're due up next.
Here's a 1-0 pitch taken, and it's outside 2-0. Since June of last year, Zach Greinke, Howie, is 23-0 when the Dodgers get him even 2 runs of support. They've got their 2 on the board tonight. But forget that 23-0 for now, because the Mets have the lead by a run. They've been out hit by 1, 6-5. D'Arnaud and DeGrom embracing in the dugout as Johnson takes on the inside corner, 2-1. Can't say enough about DeGrom. It was apparent right away he didn't have that snappy command. Kendrick lined out to start the game, and then 4 straight hits followed. Looked like the Dodgers might be up 5-1 at the end of one. Instead, it was just 2-1. And now the Mets are ahead. 2-1 pitch. Johnson rolls one toward second base. Backhand pickup. Kendrick drops it and has no play. 2 on, 2 out. And Granderson will get a chance to hit. And you figure they've got to go get the lefty now. There was a ground ball a little bit wide of the backhand side of Kendrick. He stopped it but couldn't hold it. A ball that was pulled. And speaking of being pulled, that's Greinke now. Here comes Don Mattingly. And it looks like it will be Avalon that comes on as the Mets try to pad a 3-2 lead. The Mets have survived against Zach Greinke. In fact, they've got the lead against Zach Greinke. This call to the bullpen brought to you by Lexus of Massapequa and Lexus of Rockville Center. Drive south for savings. Luis Avalon, the former Atlanta Brave, in a hot spot, but don't you sweat it. Get cozy with Luxair for year-round savings on the heating and cooling. Avalon, and this is kind of a weird one, has always been very tough on lefties. Granderson, as you probably know, never really hits lefties that well. Yet somehow Granderson is 3 for 7 lifetime against Avalon. Avalon for the year, a 4.05 ERA. And Granderson, who's had a big series, batting with 2 on, 2 out. Mets ahead 3-2. They are done with Zach Greinke. The set by Avalon with those blue socks pulled way up high. And the pitch, breaking ball, missing inside 1-0. Granderson 1 out of 3 tonight. Makes him 7 out of 17 in the series. And has walked a couple times as well. Flores at second, Johnson at first. 3-2 New York. Here's the 1-0 pitch. A drill but foul down the right side. Ooh, missed by a couple of feet. Would have been a double. It's 1-1. Granderson delivered exactly what the Mets were hoping for in the regular season. Somehow a bit under the radar because of all the happy talk about Cespedes and the return of David Wright, the emergence of all the young pitching. But let's not forget a 364 OBP from Curtis Granderson and all those home runs. Infield shifting against him. Kendrick way out there on the grass in right field. 1-1 pitch comes. Bouncing ball foul right off the facade of that Mets dugout. It's 1-2. So again, Flores at second. Johnson at first. Dodgers down 3-2. The Dodger tonight, really, if you think about it, was DeGrom. Dodging one bullet after another like he was in the Matrix. Just a flurry against him in the first, the second, the third, the fourth. Mildly in the fifth. He got out of everything. And now it's going to have to be the bullpen the rest of the way. The Mets trying to provide a bit of a cushion now. 2 on, 2 out, 1 ball, 2 strikes. David Wright waiting on deck. Avalon sets from the third base side of the rubber. As a sign he likes, he rocks and fires. Inside, almost hit him. Granderson had to duck under it. And it's 2-2. The Chicago Cubs will play either at the Mets or at the Dodgers Saturday night. Series tied 2-2. Mets ahead in Game 5, 3-2. The hits are even 6 up. Granderson getting snug again to the inside corner here. 2-2 delivery on the way. Curve socked in the air left field, but it hangs up there. Kike Hernandez back, reaching up, makes the catch. And that retires the side. The Mets strand 2. The Dodgers will have the top of the order up in the bottom of the 7th inning. 3-2 Mets in Game 5 on the WOR Mets Radio Network, driven by your Tri-Honda dealers.
Here it is, Syndergaard on a stage that if he thought was big in Game 2, just got a lot bigger.
Howie Kendrick will battle against him now in a 3-2 game. Here's the pitch. First one is a high strike. It's 0-1 at 100 miles an hour. Triple digits right away, even though he's been throwing in the bullpen pretty much all night. The big blonde hair to Syndergaard gets a bouncing ball back to the mound. He's got it. Shot puts it to first, 1 away in the 7th inning. That one down a tick at 99. And now he's actually going to face a guy that he's older than, Corey Seager. LeadsBrownLaw.com reminds you this copyrighted broadcast is presented by the authority of Sterling Mets, may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The accounts and descriptions of the game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Sterling Mets. LeadsBrownLaw.com. Here's the pitch from Syndergaard to Seager. Swing and a miss, 0-1. By the way, Juan Lagares now in center for the Mets. And Yoenis Cespedes in left, so Conforto is out. Mets ahead 3-2. 0-1 pitch. Check swing. Did he go? He did on appeal down to third. Thank you, Jim Wolf. It is 0-2. Gonzalez looms on deck. Daniel Murphy, the hitting hero so far, even the base running hero tonight. The windup in the 0-2, taken high. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And as for DeGrom, 7 strikeouts, add that to his 13 in Game 1. That's 20 in 2 games. It's an all-time Mets record for one guy in one series, actually tying Doc Gooden in '88. 1-2 curve is rolled foul up near first. Of course, Doc needed 18 innings to get that total. And DeGrom needed, 13 to tie him. John Neese and Tyler Clippard in the bullpen for the Mets now. As we play in the 7th inning, Mets up by 1. 1-2 pitch. Wave and a miss. Down he goes. 99-mile-an-hour sizzle from Syndergaard. And it's 2 out here in the 7th inning. Adrian Gonzalez, who struck out 3 times against Syndergaard in this ballpark just a few days ago. We'll try it again now. He does have 5 hits in the series, including a home run. Justin Turner is on deck. That's been the guy the Mets have not been able to get out. 3-2 New York in the 7th. Here's the rock on the pitch. Taken up and outside 1-0. Syndergaard now with 39 strikeouts in his last 27 innings. Got to look like there's more where that's coming from. 1-0 pitch. Swinging a shot foul out of play left side. 1-1. This battery right now of Syndergaard and d'Arnaud, that's pretty much what the Mets got back from Toronto for R.A. Dickey. It's the opposite of a flamethrower. 1-1 delivery coming. Check swing. Riding outside at 100 miles an hour again. 2-1. Outfield is very deep, and there's plenty of room in right center. Mets figure Gonzalez can't turn on a fastball. It's coming in at 100. Base is clear. 2 out. Syndergaard in with the pitch. Swing and a miss. He was late on the heat. 2-2. And for a guy who's never been in this role before, so far it's looking like it's suiting him fine. Syndergaard with that long blonde hair just staring in for the sign. Ready already. The kick, the 2-2 pitch. Check swing. Did he go on appeal? No, says Jim Wolf. This time full count. And it's Turner getting ready on deck.
About the last man the Mets want to see up.
Crowd springs to life again on a 3-2 count. Here it comes to Gonzalez. It's high. It's ball 4. These fans are buzzing like bees right now. Justin Turner. 3 for 3 in this game. An RBI, 2 more doubles. He's got 6 doubles in the series. That's a Dodger record.
Including 1 against Syndergaard in Game 2.
Every inning but 1, the Dodgers have had a man on, at least 1 man on. Huge opportunities for them to score big time in the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and even the 5th. And it never happened. So with 1 on, 2 out, the pitch to Turner. Swing, and he pops it foul. Back out of play right side. 98-mile-an-hour heat. Justin Turner hitting cleanup for a team with the highest payroll in baseball. That sounds absurd, because the Mets just said goodbye. Cast him off. Now he looks like a castaway with that long red beard. Total unmade bed up there is Justin Turner, but he can play. The 0-1 pitch. Swing and a foul back. It's 0-2. And this is a great matchup here, right? Because Syndergaard brings high heat and Turner can hit high heat.
And then there's that hook from you-know-where, as Terry Collins described it last spring. And you wonder if that fits right about here.
And if Turner will simply take it, if indeed that's what he's going to get, you got Andre Ethier, the lefty, on deck. 3-2 Mets in the 7th inning. Game 5. Winner goes and plays the Cubs. Turner deep in the box, closed up stance, holds the bat high. The 0-2. Swinging, it's lined to foul into the crowd on that first base side, 100 miles an hour.
He put a pretty good swing on a 100-mile-an-hour fastball there. Cautionary note.
Turner can get to fastballs. Mets have learned that in this series, but can he get to 100 miles an hour is the question. Lagares a bit towards right from center. Cespedes maybe a step back and left. 2 strikes to count. Tying man at first, and now the pitch. Swing and a miss. He got him with the hook. Noah Syndergaard bravely going where he's never been before. In relief, top of the order. And he slices them right on through. We go to the 8th. It's the Mets 3, the Dodgers 2. On the WOR Mets Radio Network, driven by your Tri-Honda dealers.
Wright, Murphy, and Cespedes due up here in the top of the 8th. The Mets 3, the Dodgers 2. The outfield straightaway. The first pitch is lined towards second, caught by Kendrick, one away. One pitch, one out. And now it will be Murphy. The injury update brought to you by InjuryLawyer.com, the Rothenberg law firm, fighting and winning on behalf of seriously injured clients for over 40 years. If you've been injured, call 1-800-624-8888 or visit InjuryLawyer.com. Really, it doesn't look like, should the Mets advance, that the infielder Juan Uribe would be available. He still hasn't really done anything to recover from his chest injury. Murphy, though, has had an unbelievably good night. 3 hits, including a homer. Takes a fastball for a called strike, 0-1. He doubled in the first inning, went to third on an error. That brought Granderson around from first. Then he singled and had maybe the most famous stolen base in Mets history. If it holds up, I have to think about some of the others, but considering the stage, went from first to third on a walk to Duda. The 0-1, taken low, 1-1. And then the home run in the 6th inning, which he hit to right field to give the Mets a 3-2 lead.
Certainly the most unconventional stolen base in a big situation ever.
I mean, I'd be hard-pressed to start thinking about others that come anywhere close. The 1-1 rolled slowly to second, but Kendrick has time. He waits on it, throws to first in time. 2 men away. And Yoenis Cespedes will be the batter. Nissan's an easier choice than ever with their most exciting and fuel-efficient lineup. Now get great offers across their full line. Shop at your local Nissan store and choose Nissan.com. Quiet night for Cespedes. Struck out twice, flied to center. 3-6-1 for the Mets. 2-6-1 for the Dodgers. Turner guards the line at third. He's behind the bag. Hatcher comes set. And the first pitch to Cespedes. Fastball, that's in for a call, strike 1. That's a 98-mile-an-hour fastball that Chris Hatcher throws. Not to be forgotten in a game that's featured some high velocity from starting pitchers, including Syndergaard working out of the bullpen. But, boy, the Dodgers really missed Hatcher when he was hurt. 0-1 the count. Now the pitch. Breaking ball swung on and missed. And quickly it's 0-2. Jerry's Familia, and only Jerry's Familia, is up in the bullpen for the Mets. Does that mean he starts the 8th? Or does Syndergaard hand it off to him at some point in the 8th, if necessary? I'm asking you. We don't know. 0-2 the count. Hatcher delivers. Low outside, 1-2.
You know what's fascinating is you look ahead. The biggest left-hand bat they've got on the bench is a guy we haven't seen since a very controversial moment. That's Chase Utley. And in a 3-2 game for now, Chase Utley could figure huge the rest of the way tonight.
If he is, in fact, able to play.
Which we don't know.
Yeah, we don't. I mean, the Dodgers haven't said anything about when he banged his head in the aftermath of the slide that will eventually be heard. Appealing the suspension, time called at home plate. They're not going to even hear the appeal till next week, somewhat curiously.
I can't imagine, for example, Grandal is going to bat again. He's looked terrible.
1-2 to Cespedes. Hatcher delivers. Upstairs. 97-mile-an-hour fastball. It's 2-2. The on-deck hitter is Lucas Duda, who was struck out 2 more times tonight, with that walk in between, allowing Murphy to go first to third. 3 infielders on the left side here against Cespedes. Hatcher, 2-2. Swung on and missed, strike 3. Got him with a breaking ball. Side retired. Hatcher continues to be brilliant out of the Dodger bullpen. The Mets go in order. Middle of the 8th inning. The Mets 3, the Dodgers 2 on the WOR Mets Radio Network, driven by your Tri-Honda dealers. After one scoreless inning from Syndergaard, Familia, who threw 36 pitches in one outing this year, the highest that he has thrown, will start the bottom of the 8th inning. So rather than let Syndergaard start the inning, and who knows, perhaps Terry's thinking ahead, although it's kind of hard to do that when everything rides on this game, or maybe he just thought Syndergaard gave him all he wanted, and here's his comfort zone. It's Familia starting the bottom of the 8th, facing Andre Ethier, left-hand batter. Familia's first pitch, fastball chop back to the mound, grabbed by Familia, runs towards first, underhands to Duda, one away. One pitch and one out.
Swinging right away, a bit of a surprise. And now Crawford will grab a bat in the on-deck circle. Utley, by the way, 3 for 6 with a double and a walk lifetime against Familia, but it's Crawford now at 0 for 2 to be the pinch hitter.
So Carl Crawford, second among all active base stealers in the majors. And just keep that in mind in case he gets on, even though he is not the Carl Crawford of old, particularly with his legs. Will bat for the catcher, Yasmani Grandal, who went 0 for 2 with a walk. Left-hand batter. Familia sets his first pitch. Fastball high and outside, ball 1.
I think it's possible, Howie, that Terry Collins probably said, or Dan Warthen or Ricky Bowness, somebody said to Syndergaard, look, it's going to be one inning, so give it everything you've got. It's only going to be one. He was throwing 100 all the way.
Outfield deep, a step towards left. A 1-0, fastball in for a called strike at 97. It's 1-1. Kike Hernandez, a right-hand hitter, is on deck. Familia making his 4th appearance of the series. Quick pitch, 1-1. Line to left. Cespedes going back. Makes the catch. 2 men away. There was some hesitancy there because Cespedes broke in and then looked almost for a split second as though he wasn't sure if he was going to have to stand his ground or dart back. Well, he darted back an extra step. But now there are 2 men away. Kike Hernandez is due up, but Jimmy Rollins has grabbed a bat. And it will be the switch-hitting Rollins who will bat for Hernandez.
And Howie, if there was concern about a 2-inning save for Familia, the Dodgers have really helped out in that regard, because to get 2 outs, Familia's needed only 4 pitches.
Which is very, very significant.
Now, Rollins has had some big hits this year alone against the Mets, and obviously if you wind the clock back beyond this year, he is a long-time Met nemesis.
Rollins 0 for 5 against Familia. 2 out, nobody on. Last of the 8th inning. The Mets leading 3-2. Right even with a bag at third, right at the edge of the infield grass. First pitch to Rollins. Fastball. That's in for a called strike. It's 0-1 at 97 miles an hour. The outfield is extremely deep in no doubles. Jock Peterson, a left-hand batter, is on deck. Familia bends in, gets the side from Darno, comes set. Now the 0-1 pitch, fastball. Oh, it's 1-1 to Rollins. Chase Utley is standing in that Dodger dugout. He does not have a helmet on. Remember, Hernandez and now Rollins, the number 7 hitter in the order. The 1-1, fastball outside, ball 2. Maybe I'm reading too much into it, but might be thinking, well, the Dodgers get 2 on. He's the only left-hand bat they have on the bench, and he's not wearing a helmet right now. At least when I looked a second ago, he wasn't. I don't see him now. 2-1 the count. Familia delivers. High, ball 3. Missed with a fastball. 3-1 with Peterson on deck. And now Familia will try to slow himself down. Just walks behind the mound. Something he rarely does. Gets right back up onto the rubber. Outfield extremely deep. 3-1 to Rollins. Familia sets. Here's the pitch. Swinging a hard hit grounder to first. Grabbed by Duda. He trots to the bag. In time, side retired. Familia works a 1-2-3-8, and he only needed 10 pitches to do it. At the end of 8 innings, it's the Mets 3, the Dodgers 2. The 9th inning is presented by Buffalo Wild Wings. What's football rich? It's wings spun in your choice of 21 sauces and seasonings. Cold beer served right to your seat. Watching all the football action on wall-to-wall TVs with your best friends. It's Buffalo Wild Wings, Wings, Beer, Sports. Lucas Duda leads off against Jansen. The infield overshifts. First pitch is taken for a called strike. 0-1. 94-mile-an-hour fastball. Duda 2 for 17 in the series with 11 strikeouts, including 2 tonight with a walk in between. But a walk which allowed Murphy to go first to third daringly. The 0-1 waved at and missed, a split. And the count 0-2. That's his change. It breaks down and away, and Duda missed it by a couple of feet or so, it appeared. Duda, d'Arnaud, Lagares due up for the Mets here in the 9th inning. They lead it 3-2. Jansen sets of the shoulders. The 0-2 pitch. Low. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Duda. Adrian Gonzalez, the first baseman, pretty close to the line here against Lucas, who took out a letter on some signage right under the pavilion roof in right center field during batting practice before game 1 of this series. They still haven't gotten around to fixing it. 1-2 the count. Here's the pitch. Fastball popped in the air, shallow left. It's Seager, the shortstop, makes the catch, 1 away. He was the lone infielder on the left side of the diamond. And an easy play for Seager.
That's something, Howie. You got Duda now at 2 for 18, right at 1 for 16. Yet here are the Mets in this position they're in.
Travis d'Arnaud is 3 for 18. You know, he had a big game for the Mets in game 3 with 3 hits, including a homer. He did hit a sac fly tonight, and that was huge because that cashed in Murphy from third after he stole the base before the Dodgers knew what was going on after Duda walked. So d'Arnaud now with Turner back in position near the line at third. First pitch, breaking ball high, 1 ball and no strikes to d'Arnaud. Peterson, Ellis, and Kendrick due up for the Dodgers in the 9th inning against Jeurys Familia,
who's never had a 2-inning save.
Again, this one, he threw 10 pitches in the first inning.
That's huge.
Here's the 1-0 pitch. Popped up, right side, foul ground. Adrian Gonzalez, the first baseman near the Mets dugout, makes the catch. 2 men away.
Some of the Dodgers, Howie, in the first inning tonight worked over DeGrom for 27 pitches. And what if they had done that to Familia in the 8th? They did the opposite of that, and they've got Familia working with no net. Really set up quite nicely now in the 9th.
So here is Juan Lagares up for the first time after coming into play center field and bumping Yoenis Cespedes to left. Lagares 2 out of 6 in the series. Saw Jansen ready. First pitch taken low, 1-0. Wilmer Flores on deck, and really the Mets don't have a bona fide defensive replacement for him after the injury to Ruben Tejada. Matt Reynolds is on the roster, but I asked Terry about that earlier in the series. He said that would be a really tough spot for him to put that kid in. 9th inning, series on the line. The 1-0. Fastball in for a called strike, 1-1. Although Reynolds is a good shortstop. He's not a gold glove candidate in a tight game like this. Well, you'd love to have say Tejada available. I doubt they'd take Flores out, but who knows? 1-1 the count. Turner tightens up at third. Here's the pitch to Lagares. Inside with a fastball, ball 2. Of course, the pitcher's spot is due up behind Flores. So whatever Lagares and Flores do here, you know who's hitting 9th. It's Familia.
who was actually 2 for 3 in the big leagues, by the way.
There is value in that. 2-1 the count. Jansen holds the set. Now the pitch. That's on the inside corner. Strike 2 call. The fastball at 94. All the Mets leaning over the railing at the top of their dugout. Most of the Dodgers doing the same. 3-6-1 for the Mets. 2-6-1 for the Dodgers. 2-2 to Lagares. Here's the pitch. Fastball fouled straight back. Just below the press box into the second level here. Incredible. This ballpark opened in 1962. And it looks as though you can eat off the floor here. Since the latest ownership came in, they've invested a lot of money into sprucing it up. But even before that, it was still pretty close to pristine. Built by the same architects and builders who built Shea Stadium. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Swing on a ground ball towards third. That is a fair ball. Base hit going down the left field line. Just past Turner. Crawford plays the carom. Lagares to second. And he'll hold there with a double. And if you consider that Jerry's Familia would be the following batter to Wilmer Flores, there would be no reason whatsoever if you're the Dodgers to pitch to Wilmer Flores here, wouldn't you think?
Yeah, you go ahead and pitch to a guy that obviously doesn't profile as any kind of hitter. But for what it's worth, 2 for 3 with an RBI is Familia. And actually got to bat against the Phillies last year and came through with that RBI hit.
But there can't be any decision to be made here, right?
No.
Ellis is out at the mound talking to his pitcher, Kenley Jansen. We'll pause quickly. Station ID on the WOR Mets Radio Network.
This is Kristen Marks for WOR New York. President Obama says nearly 10,000 U.S. troops will remain in Afghanistan through next year. Details after the game.
Howie Rose, Josh Lewin with you at Dodger Stadium. They will walk Wilmer Flores to get to Jerry's Familia. And if this thing does have some sort of script to it, meaning this Mets season, you think Familia pitches in with his bat?
Yep. Because that's how this season has gone. That's been the wonder of this magic carpet ride here in 2015. The most nonsensical things have been happening. Daniel Murphy, who gets derided so often, what is he doing? Why is he doing that? Did a brilliant thing tonight to actually get the Mets a tie. And on from there. DeGrom didn't have his good stuff tonight. Worked around every possible tough inning.
So here comes intentional ball 4 to Flores. And Jerry's Familia will see about getting an insurance run in here.
In this fairy tale season, you half expect Familia to put one in the gap here off one of the great closers of the game. Got to make sure he doesn't hurt himself there, seriously, because the Mets do not have a safety net behind Familia. He's their 9th inning pitcher. So don't pull an oblique.
Wow. There are things you risk. Here's the first pitch to him. Swings and misses. The fastball, 0-1.
You'd almost rather Familia just be real careful right here. They need him for his arm soon.
Turner deep at third. Outfield shallow and around towards right. The 0-1. Fastball taken inside. It's 1-1 with Lagares at second, and he's got good speed. Flores at first, who really doesn't. I mean, Wilmer's not slow. I'd say he's at best an average base runner in terms of speed. 1-1 to Familia. Jansen delivers. Swung on and missed. Big cut, bending that right knee, gone down a bit is Familia. And the count 1-2. Tension. You could almost grab it and bring it to your chest. A 1-2 to Familia. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. Side retired. And now you'll really ratchet up the tension as the Mets are done in the top of the 9th. Utley will bat for Jock Peterson to lead off the bottom of the ninth against Cherish Familia. It is Utley's first appearance since the late slide at second base that broke the leg of Ruben Tejada. Retaliation, though, is 3 outs away. That's the only focus that the Mets have right here. Utley, a left-hand batter. Familia sets at the letters. The first pitch, fastball down the middle. A called strike, 0-1. Utley is 3 for 6 against Familia. And the decibel level rising pretty close to what it was at Citi Field when Utley was introduced before Game 3, only in a different context. Here's the 0-1. Down and in. 1 ball and 1 strike. Familia missing with a fastball. That's his sinker. A.J. Ellis on deck, a very tough hitter in the postseason. And then Howie Kendrick. Lagares in center is deep and over towards the gap in left center. The 1-1. Driven in the air to left, fairly deep, slicing foul, overcomes Cespedes. It's in the seats, out of play. And the count 1-2 on Chase Utley. Familia threw only 10 pitches in the 8th inning, which gives him a season's worth of rope here in the 9th. All 3 outfielders are very deep. Familia sets. A 1-2 to Utley. Swing and a drive in the air to right. In comes Granderson. He's there. Makes the catch. 1 away. So Utley flies to right. And now the catcher, A.J. Ellis, up for the first time tonight. He's got a 12-game postseason hitting streak going. That's the Dodgers' franchise record. In 16 career postseason games, he's hit .373. And he's not that kind of a hitter during the regular season. This year, Ellis hit only .238.
Well, the Dodgers now, Howie, 0 for their last 12.
Mets keep the outfield very deep, straight away against the right-hand batter. The first pitch to Ellis. High and tight, ball 1. A fastball at 97. Ellis has a little bit of pop. He hit 7 home runs this year. David Wright now guarding the line at third. Familia sets at the letters. And the 1-0 pitch. That's in for a called strike. A fastball at 98, and it's 1-1. Familia wastes no time. He gets that ball back from Darno on the rubber, ready to go. Comes set. The 1-1 pitch. Swing and a miss at the slider, and it's 1-2. 90-mile-an-hour slider there from Familia. And now it's Ellis who steps out, while Familia just waits on the pitching rubber. Murphy 1 step onto the outfield grass at second. Familia sets. The 1-2 pitch. Check swing at a slider. He did not go around the pitch in the dirt. It's 2-2. Now Familia goes to the scraper at the back of the mound, takes his cap off, wipes a little sweat off of his forehead. He's probably used a couple of towels already to do the same thing tonight. 2-2 to Ellis. Familia sets. Holds the set, now the pitch. Swung on and missed, strike 3. 2 men away, he got him with a slider. And Howie Kendrick will be the batter. First strikeout for Familia. If Kendrick keeps it going, Corey Seager would be next. Every player in the dugout leaning over the railing. The first pitch to Kendrick. Swung on and foul. A little roller back of home plate. It's 0-1, the slider. Familia just pounds that pitching rubber once or twice, getting a little excess dirt out of his spikes. David right on the third base line. The outfield very deep and straight away. Familia sets the 0-1 to Kendrick. Swung on and missed the slider, and it's 0-2. And Familia 1 strike away. You could hear the nervous murmur from the crowd and hear the heartbeats of Mets fans 3,000 miles away. The 0-2 pitch, swung on and missed, strike 3, put it in the books. The New York Mets are going to the National League Championship Series. Familia jumped on by Travis d'Arnaud. The Mets pour out of the dugout, pour out of the bullpen. They're mobbing each other at the pitcher's mound. The New York Mets have defeated the Dodgers in 5 games of the division series. They win game 5, 3-2. Jacob deGrom, every bit the bulldog that Orel Hershiser was all those years ago. And Daniel Murphy has the game of his life with probably the most famous stolen base in Mets history, the catalytic agent, and later Murphy hit what proved to be the game-winning home run. The Mets and the Cubs in the National League Championship Series beginning on Saturday night at Citi Field. And get ready for a long narrative about 1969.
These Met fans that are here are celebrating. Every other fan here is stunned. They can't believe their Dodgers went 0 for their last 14. 10 of their first 22 men reached. It looked like this was going to be a rout the wrong way tonight, Howie, but you mentioned deGrom and the bulldog nature. Maybe it backfired on the Dodgers, having the bulldog throw out that ceremonial first pitch tonight. And how great do you feel for Terry Collins to win his first playoff series and to do it here, Dodger Stadium, where he always aspired to get as a player and never did.
Terry absolutely shrieked at strike 3. Looked like he had some tears in his eyes. He is that way. He's very emotional. He will cry at the drop of a hat in a happy scenario if the situation calls for it. He immediately hugged Dan Warthen and then eventually went over and hugged Don Mattingly. He and Daniel Murphy embraced for what seemed like forever. Now the Mets are beginning to pull over the T-shirts that they're being given with whatever the slogan is. I can't get a good look at it yet.
It's Murphy for president.